What is going on, travelers? We'll be on in just a moment.
All right. Stream time.
Midnight, I see you in chat. What's going on? Happy Saturday.
Jason rant time. Oh, yeah. Last stream, I ended with a long rant because, man, that target sweep.
Because it, oh my God. Yeah, well, hold on. I'll save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
About to get into it. But man, yeah, the last time I did this, we were talking about the, what you call it, when the update came out. Now it's post-update, and they had some pretty good features in, but it's like really, really small. Hey Moose, I see you right there. All right, man.
Yeah, I'm just posting the link real quick. I'll get my head in the game in a moment. Hello, everybody. Hello. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hello. Hey, Midnight Moose.
All right, we're getting ready to start in 3. Actually, it says 4 up there. 3, 2, 1. What is going on, everyone? And welcome to the Saturday podcast of State of the Game, where I have JasonPlays, Moose is on his way, and Sazzible. Mike's in chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was any music playing when your stream was on. I think it was they just heard us talking, the pre-stream talk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the cool thing about the podcast, though. You gotta have the pre-talk, and then after the pre-talk, you kind of get into the podcast. And one of my favorite things about doing this with you guys is the pre and post talk all the time, and then like during the podcast talk too. For me, it's like a whole event, and I love doing that. But I hate the fact that I only do that once a month, though. I wish I could do it more, but circumstances and whatnot. But anyway, let's go ahead and move into it. What we were talking about. So this is post-orbital update discussion that we're gonna have to talk about, as well as the target sweep, everyone's favorite topic, and the expedition adrift update. So let's go ahead and get started with Orbital. What are your thoughts on ship customization, how everything rolled out, in terms of even the smaller features that were kind of hidden if you didn't read the patch notes? Like I went ahead and put out a few videos about the economy scanner, how it kind of changed when you have a description in there in terms of what's selling in that particular system, so that we already have an idea even before you jump in. There's also what else did I put out? Some of the features for making the gameplay loop of freighters. I'm sorry, where was I going with that? The gameplay loop of freighters. They're trying to revamp that game loop where you can now get those commands of one of your frigates being down while you're in your ship or you're in your freighter at the command fleet terminal.
Yeah, well, and they also had it to where it would be attacked when you weren't playing, which was kind of weird. They had to put a patch in for that. That was interesting. Like, I've never seen a bug like that where it could be attacked on a certain like time of day versus like when you're actually playing, which is nuts.
Wait, are the servers still live? It's like your player's still live when you're not in?
No, it sounded like it was connected to the Discovery servers versus actually your in-game character, and then they had to flip that. So I don't know if that's an indication of something to come. Like, is there going to be timed events to where if you're not playing, it can happen and you need to be jumping in or something? I don't know.
Are you having weird dreams again?
Hey, Moose.
Hey, Moose.
Hey. Jason having weird dreams again and talking about them?
I haven't had a dream in so long. I've been playing Elden Ring. I haven't slept in forever.
Occasionally you might hear a meowing sound. My cat Marble seems to be very, very talkative today. So that's just a little extra level of chaos added to the stream.
Oh
but
yeah,
we all love a little extra chaos, right?
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
Take one.
To answer your question, like the trade system, you kind of can tell, like before you jump into a system, what type of goods, like if it's industrial, scientific, you kind of already had an idea of the kind of stuff you could sell there. So I didn't really feel like that added too much to the economy. And freighters, I guess I never really utilized my freighter that much other than like a storage facility. I always like flying my ships more than flying my freighter around. But everybody is a bit different with that. I'm sure like the people who are really into the trade system, like, you know, the nitty gritty details of that appreciated that little extra update. But yeah, those little Easter eggs I didn't really notice too much.
well, I mean, and that is one thing that I love and I hate about the game, and a lot of people have those complaints as well, is that a lot of the updates, a lot of the content they add is always like optional. So they added in food to the game, and everyone thought, oh, this is going to be insane. It's going to start to be like a survival crafting game now. And then we all realized, actually, no, it's just if you never cook food, you're fine. You don't need to at all. The same thing for pets. Yeah.
Unless you're like me, who is choosing to play a permadeath food-only recharge.
Yeah. Well,
so you actually have to use it to survive, you know.
To survive. And that's beautiful, though, but the fact that they made it optional.
Yeah.
And so there are people who jump in and they are obsessed with collecting pets and getting the perfect pet and doing the whole egg sequencer. And another person's like, what the hell is an egg sequencer? Because they've never even touched it. And that is awesome. But also it feels like a lot of the stuff they do is just like what I call like window dressing. It's just, it looks cool from the outside, but it is not a required gameplay element. Like the frigates. They did this huge, awesome addition to it. And people who play with that noticed it, but most people or other people are like, I've used it for storage, and my freighter's just my storage, or my mobile base. I've never done freighter missions.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting for everything to load in. I'm not seeing a base. I don't want to accidentally crash into it. I probably am flying through it right now.
Oh, yeah. Like right above him.
It's being a little bit funny here. I'll just land and see what shows up.
Oh, you were so close to the other landing pad.
There's no landing pads. I just see you floating. I see your ship floating. Ah, there it is. Now it's all popping in. Now everything's here. Although I do see some grass is grown in.
Yeah.
Some of the ground textures here.
Quite a bit here. All right, just pick a seat anywhere you want.
Oh, where's this is the spot here?
Oh yeah, in there. Yeah.
Where all the grasses?
Hasn't loaded in yet.
Here.
Awesome. But yeah, for some reason the name's doubled, so I was a bit confused by that. I have to get back on the ship and then look up to kind of get an example. But yeah, I wonder why they didn't just put a full-on list of, okay, this is what's selling here, like maybe 5 little options, and you'd be like, oh, that's what I need. But generally for their trade surges, I believe that's kind of beneficial for it, because maybe have you guys done trade surges before?
I have not.
I've done it. I've done
really.
a couple. I think the main reason why they added the trade surge is because they want people to see that there is a actual trading system that you can use to actually make money in the game, rather than just doing, ship scrapping or multi-tool scrapping, or, because I mean, to be honest, a lot of people don't do the goods trading at all. You don't see too many people doing that.
I feel like they used to when we had Cobalt like system
Oh, yeah.
crashes. And
Yep.
then they kind of got rid of that. So now everyone moved away and they're like, well, actually, no, come back and do this. This is actually really cool.
Yeah, the Cobalt was like probably the main reason why I would trade, and then I stopped. Like as soon as I got rid of the X-Plant, like why bother with this now?
Yeah.
I'm not going to getting much from it. It's a lot of effort for very little.
Yeah, they basically just made every system its own market rather than it being a global market, pretty much. So when you crash the Cobalt in one system, it doesn't affect the next system. It's a completely separate market.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like, they when they kind of killed that off, a lot of people, they were just like, well, I don't even care about the in-game trading anymore. I would rather go. There's a million different ways to make money, and I just scratch one off now.
Well, it's just like activated idiom. That used to be the most valuable resource.
Yeah, activated
to
Indian.
sell.
That was a good one too.
And people had,
farms dedicated.
And now it's not worth. Gold is worth more now than the activated idiom. So, and then as far as like resources go, I find the cheapest and the most valuable resource to make yourself is the sea urchin, the sac venoms.
Yeah.
That's actually the highest valued exotic item that you can plant.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Well, like if you found a planet that already has like a ton of those sac venoms.
Yeah, but then you
It's a little risky, but like you can get a lot at once.
Yes.
How often do they grow back on planets? Is it like the same as runaway mold, or?
I want to say no. I'm not sure if they grow back as quick as runaway mold. Like if you go within a certain amount of distance, they'll just come back. I'm not too sure. That's a good question. I don't think I've ever tried.
And there's this dude on Reddit that had found a planet that had 39 runaway mold on it.
Oh, that's a record. I don't think I've.
Yes.
Oh my god, I was posting in an I think it was Nolopada's Discord, and dude was like, what did he say? Are there coordinates? And I was like looking, and then just went in and posted it. I'm like 39, and like I don't think it's gonna go any higher than that, but if it does, it's like, is it gonna be enough for people with nanites, those who are playing the normal game versus those who are playing either relaxed or maybe custom, who are just kind of playing it for free, like casually?
Yeah, but there's a million different ways to do it, and whenever I play, everyone brings up like, oh, you can farm, a runaway mold, and I'm like, I can just go kill sentinels, get their upgrades, and sell it for way faster instead of putting it in a refiner and sitting there for like a half hour.
And you can't leave the system.
Yeah.
Typo has a pretty good way of refining the runaway mold. He just has, I think, like 10 refiners, and then he only puts X amount in each refiner. It only takes like 10 minutes to do it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than putting the full stacks in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you could just set up a base with like 500 refiners if you'd like, and just do a lap around it.
Yeah, but like you said, there's multiple different ways to make nanites and units and.
Yeah. Before I started streaming, I used to do the runaway mold, but then like after I started, streaming, and I just started duping tainted metal and getting nanites that way.
Oh man.
I think my original nanite farm, like years and years ago, was literally a silver and a gold deposit that was farming up so I can make platinum and refine it down. It was the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. But I got a whole bunch of nanites after a few hours.
Oh man, the diminishing returns on that. Yeah. As soon as I heard about that, it was too late for me.
Yeah.
Dude, but yeah. If they're trying to bring the economy back, actually, I don't even know if this will work or not. The example I want to use is from Star Citizen, where they'll have one spot run out, and then you'll have to go to another spot to sell, but you only sell a certain amount, or else that station would be full, but then you have to go to another spot. But since there's like billions upon billions of systems in this game, I don't think that would be feasible. I'm wondering what Hello Games could do in terms of making the economy more of a gameplay loop for players.
Well, I think like after adding the creative mode and everything free option, I don't know if they could like 100% bring it back to the way it was before, because I think I don't know how many new players like see the custom you know, the little emoji that's next to your name after you go custom creative mode.
Yeah.
You know, that I don't know how many new players care about that.
I don't think anyone does. Like, that was a huge deal in 4.0. Everyone was like,
oh,
you're
people were like, I don't want that next to my name. I'm silent OG.
Yeah.
You know, I worked hard for all this. That's what everyone was thinking before, but I guess people, I don't know if people are over that.
I think, you know, a lot of that was just because, you know, some people were worried about being judged based on how they're playing their game, whether they're playing custom or creative or, you know, normal or survival permadeath. You know, I think that's what a lot of that was. Oh, we don't want people knowing how we're playing the game. Well, I don't think anybody really cares how you're playing the game, because ultimately it's your game. You know, the way you play your game does not necessarily impact other people who are playing the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, for years and years, like I don't want to pick on him too much. Maybe a little jab, but for Professor Cynical, when 4.0 came out, he made I think it was a video, maybe 2 videos, making a big deal about how duplication was way more legit than using a custom game and turning off the prices. And I was like, all right, dude. If we have to get to a level of, well, I'm more legit because I do it that's not what this game is about. It's literally play it how you want. If you want to turn off prices, do it. If you want to duplicate, do it. It's your game, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Yeah, they made it more of a sandbox, you know, experience than it was already. And combining all of the game modes into one, other than, I guess, the OG permadeath people are still in their own mode, right? I think that was the only
permadeath is
one that they kept separate.
All other modes.
Yeah, you're locked in.
It's its own.
You're locked in as soon as you play it. Yeah.
So it used to be permadeath and survival actually shared the same space, and then normal was on its own and creative was on its own. But then they changed, and survival, normal, creative, and custom are all on one set, and then permadeath is by itself.
Yeah, well, as far as I know, custom is as long as you don't turn on the permadeath setting. So like we play like what we call extreme mode, where we turn everything to the maximum.
Oh yeah,
and it's quote unquote permadeath still, even though it's custom.
But it's custom, so it's not. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, because I know there was a question in one of my playthroughs I did permadeath max, where I turned everything up to, you know, as high as it can go, and the question was, well, now that it's a custom game, even though it's permadeath, if you go through the center, will you still get the achievement? And I said, well, yes, because you can make the game harder, you just can't make it easier. As soon as you try to make, like, say you start a permadeath game,
easier,
and then you go in and say, oh, I want this to be free and this to be free. Well, right when you do that, it says if you change the setting, it'll put it in a custom, you know, whatever mode, and it may disable certain achievements.
Yeah.
So you can't. So you can only make it harder. You can't make it easier. I mean, you can make it easier, but you just won't get the achievements.
Don't get the achievement. Yeah. Well, and then going back to like the economy and the like ship customization, I call it ship building essentially. I really think that they're not trying to like fix the economy. I think they're just adding more features in for the whatever percentage of players who are really invested in. Oh, I do trade routes with my frigates all the time. That's all I log in for. And so I love that about them, but I also feel like it's like, would it have been a better option to like, just if you're gonna make it an economy like important, make it important. No, don't just add more features to it. But I don't know. I'm torn too, because I do appreciate that it's optional. A lot of things are optional. You don't have to care about one or the other. It's whatever you decide you like.
Yeah, I think they're basically they're making a game that has a buffet of things for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's stuff that, like you say, you got people who want to trade, you got people that want to hunt ships, and people that want to hunt multi-tools. Some people who go in just to, I don't know, just do Nexus missions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's people that play the game and haven't even touched the story. They have no inclination to do the story. They're just playing the game, exploring, discovering,
Just
building.
explore.
You know?
Well, and then there's people who want to get a living ship, and then they look at it and say, no, F that. I'm not going to spend a week doing this.
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
man.
Yeah, but once you do, you can hunt living ships forever. Like whatever
Yeah.
living
Yeah.
ship you want. They
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
they
that
don't.
one.
They.
It's that initial wall, though, when they
Yeah,
put it
that
up.
initial
And there
wall.
are ways around it of, like, just, turn off your internet connection, fast forward time, and all this other stuff. But I feel like that is a huge, like, a gate to be if you really want it. I mean, once you do it, you're done, but you got to get through this first part first.
Yeah.
And that's
I
understandable.
don't know.
Oh, go ahead, Moose.
I was just gonna say, yeah, me myself, I don't mind restarting and doing things all over again. I mean, I don't know, I have probably about 15 or 20 different profiles with saves on each one, so I don't know. Different platforms. I have it on all platforms, actually. Speaking of the Switch, it actually still runs fairly decent on the Switch, to be honest.
Nice, that's good to hear. I was kind of worried about them not doing too well lately, because you hardly hear anything about the Switch, especially when the patch. I'm sorry, I'm about to sneeze.
Oh no!
All right, it went away. But yeah, I'm a little worried about it because we're not going to see multiplayer anytime soon on the Switch unless we're moving on to its next generation, where the hardware may be a little bit better depending on which way Nintendo wants to go. But
Yeah.
You don't hear about the Mac players either.
Yeah.
There's like a few that you don't hear.
No, I
about.
haven't heard anything. I don't have a Mac, so I can't play it on that. But I think Beeps has a Mac, doesn't he?
I think he does. I don't think he uses it for No Man's Sky, though. He's just like, no, I have Steam. I'm fine on PC.
All right.
gotta sit down and put a poll out there. How many of you are Mac players?
Every once in a while, I try to put out a vote. I'm like, hey, where do you play No Man's Sky the most? And I have a list. And I've never put in Mac. I try to put in Switch, knowing that it's always like 2% or 3% out of all the platforms. But I need to put Mac in.
Yeah, do the least popular platform vote, like Mac, Switch, your smart fridge. I don't know how many platforms No Man's Sky is going to be on.
I think Switch may have gotten a little bit more of a draw if it would have been a true Switch edition and been its own universe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about how many content creators actually do content for the Switch, and if they got into No Man's Sky, and even some of us who have it, that would have been a whole new avenue of ship finds, multi-tool finds, and stuff like that. It's a whole new thing because it's a completely different universe.
Yes.
That's true, but I also think that, at least for me, I don't know about everyone else watching, but the big killer for me was number one, multiplayer. You can't join multiplayer, which kind of sucks. But number two, cross saves or anything like that. Starting brand new in the same, I just want to, because I play my Switch mostly mobile, like when I'm out and about, and I don't want to start a new character for that. I want to bring over my PC or my Xbox, save, play it for a little while, like if I'm on a trip, and then go back to my Xbox or my my PC. And I hate that it's a separate one.
Yeah, cross progression. A lot of games are coming out with that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Xbox and PC, that's like the easiest one because they're both, Microsoft. And they might, it's a little bit more challenging to get all of the, different, game companies, game consoles versus like Microsoft, all of those to agree. Versus Apple, like, it's hey, let's allow cross play, cross save progression across all the different platforms. That's like a it's difficult to get them all to agree.
Heather Silvermist is in the chat.
Heather!
Hey!
Oh, Heather.
And then Midnight, I totally agree with what you were saying about people strive to make you think you spend days grinding and doing everything fairly while actually duping and using other glitches and cheats. Yeah, that's true. And thank you for saying bless you, even though the sneeze never happened. But thank you.
The preemptive. It's preemptive.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, well, and for me, it's never been about that like status. Like I've put up so many videos on this is how you do this or this is how you do that. But at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't care about like getting the coolest pet or even getting a living ship, it's like, okay. I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine. It's however you want to play. Like we do speed runs and permadeath runs. We do like fugitive runs, all these kind of different things. And everyone's like, oh, you have to play it on this and that. I'm like, no. I put the rules that I'm playing by, but if you want to change it, you want to play it on normal mode, you want to set it to easy, whatever you want to do, as long as you're having fun, that's what matters.
Right. Yeah. The only reason why we do that kind of stuff is because we're striving for that challenge. We're challenging ourselves, not really challenging other people. But if they want to take the challenge, take it.
Yeah. Well, and it's more fun. Like when we do speed runs, I know that I'm not going to be able to like this one, the Adrift Expedition. I think someone got it down to 1 hour and 11 minutes. That is ridiculous. Yeah. And I know I'm never going to beat it, but I'm still going to do it because I want to get my my personal time down as short as possible, even though I might not beat everyone. I mean, I hope I do, but I know I'm probably not.
So has Orbital enhanced the changes for No Man's Sky to be a better game, or is it still stuck in its specific rut where players are still wanting more from it like they were previously? Because we got ship customization. I guess that was the biggest one in there. We got the new ship, we got the ship customization, and some of the smaller features that weren't really read in the patch notes, but it was discussed in Jason's stream yesterday. It was No Man's Sky going to get a big update. And I was like, yeah, Orbital is the big update. But talking about it, it doesn't necessarily sound like a big update.
I've got one gripe to say about ship customization, and the colors do not show correctly in multiplayer. If you're a single player, you can fly your ship around and it'll be the right colors for you, the right ship parts. But like, this is like if you're more of a community kind of player, then you're still going to want to find your all natural ship out in the wild because the colors are going to be teal. I think teal is one of the colors, and like only one of the colors is right, and then the other color is
the colors thing has actually been like that since before the update.
Oh
yeah, well, it was with
every ship after the first would pull from the original ship, right?
Well, it wasn't even like just ships. It was even pets.
Yeah, pets too. Yeah.
It's something to do with. I don't really understand it, but it's got obviously something to do with the multiplayer server, based on if you're on PC console or PC, Xbox, whatever. However, it is like sending that information over. It's not displaying the correct colors. I don't really know. I'm not a programmer type person, but it's just what it seems like to me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and I think that we might see more cleanup to kind of answer your question. As I think we might see now more cleanup and additional updates, not like adding in new content. It'll be like, well, we added ship building in Orbital, so now we can do an update where we add in exotics or we add in shuttles or what have you. But it won't be any new features. It'll be more of, and this is all speculation, it'll be more of like fixing things like multiplayer. They've said, and I think we had a good couple of years of 32-player multiplayer.
Yeah.
And we haven't had it for a long time. So go back and fix that. Go back and fix if you customize your character, you customize your ship, make sure the colors, show correctly. Everything, Even your staff doesn't do, the correct color. Your pets, your ships. So maybe that is what I feel like that's what they're going to do. They had this final, like, all right, the one big thing that people have been asking for is ship customization. We'll do it in some kind of fashion. It's more of ship building. The only other thing I could think of that people have been asking for, and I don't think we're ever going to see it, is an overhaul of the water system. I don't think we're ever going to see that in No Man's Sky.
Yeah, people have been asking for that for years.
Yeah, waterfalls.
Yeah.
People want waterfalls.
I don't think, for me, because after seeing the Light No Fire trailer and you see the water in there and you're like, wow, wait a minute, they could do that? I think that's a benefit, and it's pure speculation, but I think that's a benefit of them not having to put it on an Xbox One or PS4 or a Switch. They can utilize that power to actually run it better and smoother. And they're like, yeah, we tried to do it, but it's going to feel kind of awkward if we put out an update and it says, well, it only works on PC and PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Yeah,
if you're on an older console, you're screwed.
Yeah, it's possible that some of the things that we want, they can't necessarily do because of the old gen consoles.
Yeah, well,
it's possible.
I think, I mean, the longer it goes and the more updates we see, the more that really solidifies in my mind, because you can see the render distance has changed over the years. It's gotten smaller and smaller.
Dramatically.
Because I think that they're working with a limited power base and they have to make it work on everything. And because they're on Switch, they're on old gen systems, they're like, look, we can add in these cool, corrupted systems with the purple crystals, but that's more stuff to render. So we got to make that render smaller and smaller. And there's times where it feels like it only renders out like 10 feet in front of me. And it's crazy going back to like 2018 version of No Man's Sky and going, man, that render distance is nice. Holy cow.
Well, and that's kind of why take Rockstar, for example, when they ported GTA 5 to the PlayStation 5, PS4 and PS5 cannot play together. It's two separate games. And they did that because PS4 cannot run as fast as the 5.
Yeah.
Right? It just can't. They did it two separate games, and it works. I mean, it looks really good on the 5, and it runs really fast, and loading times are like very minimal.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're gonna see. So when it comes to like another major update like that, I don't think we're gonna see like a water overhaul. I really think that they announced Light No Fire because it's coming. I keep thinking it's going to be October, but as we get closer and closer, it's probably not. But the fact that they announced it means they're probably ready for it, and they're going to be moving over and saying, "Look, we love No Man's Sky. We're going to keep putting out updates, but they're going to be smaller. They're going to be less often because we're going to be focusing on Light No Fire, and Light No Fire is focused on next generation, whatever you want to call next generation, more powerful systems that can do these cool things we want to do versus the limited like tool set we have with No Man's Sky because it has to run on 13, 15-year-old hardware. That's crazy.
Yeah, the render distance has kind of been killing the virtual photography aspect. But I've been having to turn up the fog in the distance more and more these days, or doing just macro close-up shots. But that's like more of a niche community thing. Or if you look at it from like a builder, like glitch building, if you want to get a big picture of your fancy build, you can't because the parts won't fully render.
Yep.
So if you look at it from that perspective too, like the render distance, affects different aspects of the game for sure.
Yeah. And I've never programmed a game, so I have no idea how hard it would be. However, I would love them to use the power of whatever console you're on. So it does, when I jump from PC to Xbox Series X to Xbox One, you kind of see the only difference is the load times and the frame rate. That's about it. Everything else plays basically the same. And I'm like, it should be like render more on a PS5 or on PC. If I have 128 gigs of RAM and I have the best GPU, run that thing hard. I always check on my my settings whenever I stream. I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I'm not running anything too hard because if I use 100%, it's going to kill the stream or the game is going to suffer. Never. It has not moved in like 2 years. They don't use any more resources. And I'm like, you have more updates. Use more resources. I want you to, please.
Make that thing go woo. When you're playing
Exactly.
it.
I would.
Yeah, I've got like this 3080 graphics card, which is still pretty good. 30 gen, I know 50 gen's coming out. Like, it's still a pretty powerful graphics card. It's barely, I don't see much of the ray tracing or, the DLSS or whatever. It's not. Come on, pump up the resources, like you said, Jason.
That's true. The one thing I noticed is, and they're not going that direction. They're actually going in reverse because with the Orbital update, we all noticed when it first came out, they said, "Oh, there's better lighting in the game. We're gonna use better textures, better not exactly ray tracing, but more in line with that." And I was like, "Awesome! I'm gonna pump up all my graphics." If you go beyond, I think it's enhanced on reflections, it breaks all of the lighting. You don't get any reflections.
The only thing I keep on enhanced is the reflections. So,
It's so ridiculous. And at first we thought, okay, that's a bug. It just came out. They're going to fix that. And it's still not fixed. And I tried it on an AMD card. I have an AMD 7900 XTX, the best AMD card you can get. Nothing. I switched over to RTX. I have a 4070. Nothing. It's the same. It's broken no matter which GPU you use.
One of the things I noticed too is when you talk to NPCs, like on space stations and stuff like that, while you're in the menu with them, well, not so much the blur, but on PlayStation, I get black little pixel dots flying across the screen every once in a while.
I used to get that as well.
So.
They kind of fixed that, but not for everything.
Yeah.
I still have it in the menus.
In-game pixelation. No, not good.
Yeah. Well,
it's just weird.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a developer philosophy of we want everyone to have the same game. So, like, you can't tout that, I play it on PC, so I have better graphics or whatever, but I would really love it to, like, look, man, just, if I want to be crazy and set everything to ultra and melt my PC, let me do it.
Right?
Yeah, you have the power, right? Why not, right?
Exactly. Let me go with it. But they have this this control over it. Like, no, it's not going to render out no matter which version you play on. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just this version of the game. And I've gone through the PlayStation 5 version, the Xbox Series X version. The Switch version, I just do for laughs because I know it's never going to do it. But it's like, okay, it's generally the same. It's just literally loading times and frame rates. That's generally it. I mean, you'll get some things here and there that are different, but overall, it's not like major differences. Like, oh man, I have a PC with a 4090 in this game. I can see to the next planet. I can see the animals running around. No, you can't do that.
All right.
So with the talk about consoles, I was talking about this with Beeblebum on his stream when he was going over how consoles may be extinct in the future, and the only thing you're going to pretty much buy is a PC since consoles are moving more towards PC-like features.
I would argue we're already there, but yes.
We're already there.
The PS5 and the Xbox are just custom PCs at this point.
Pretty much.
With the cost, I mean, it's almost the same. It's getting closer and closer, the cost of a console versus a PC.
Yeah, but the only reason why they'll continue to make consoles is because they want to have their exclusivities.
I mean,
I would argue that's going away in the next 10 years. Man.
Well, I would love to see it go away because I would love to see each, company, join together and actually share their games with each of the communities. The way I look at it, it's just going to draw more revenue for that company.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't know about that, but maybe more cross communities. I don't know. Giant mega conglomerate, that seems like a bad idea for all of them to do that, but maybe more cross-play and more cross-platform would be ideally, or just one platform.
I think the example I would use would be Xbox and Microsoft. Way back in the day, we had Windows Live. Microsoft was like, no. You know what? we're going to do the PC thing and we're going to make our own store. Screw Valve. If you buy our game, it's going to be integrated into Windows Live. And this was like 2008-ish, way back in the day, over a decade ago. Everyone hated it. It was stupid. No one bought their games on their store. We just went to Valve or whatever. And so Xbox, that was the turning point. I think the Xbox One in 2013 is when they realized, all right, we need to sell these games because we make money off of games. They don't make money. They make money off of consoles, but not very much. They make more money off of a game. And so the more games you sell, the more money you make. And so Xbox, I think, is like probably 5 to 8 years ahead of everyone else. They started putting all their games on PC. They're like, look, if we're going to do it day and date, let's just make as many sales as we possibly can and get as many games out there. That way we can make money. And then this year, I didn't think they were going to do it. They're starting to put their games over on PlayStation. Everyone was like, oh, it's the end of the world. I don't think it's the end. I think it's the next step. I think that you're going to see that coming from PlayStation because no one thought in a million years PlayStation was going to put any of their games on PC. And they kept saying, nope, it's exclusive to PlayStation. You need a console to play this. You need a PS5 to play this.
Yeah.
And now every game is coming to PC.
Yeah.
So give it 5 or 8 years. They're going to be coming to Xbox.
I think I think PlayStation has waited 2 years after the game's initial release, and then they start porting some of them titles to PC.
That's how it started. But now, the Horizon Lego game, that's coming day and date. The Dawn, Until Dawn is coming day and date. So it always starts. That's what they say. It's like when you tempt me with McDonald's. Like, you want to go to McDonald's? No, I'm never going to McDonald's. I'm eating healthy. I'm fine. And then you say, well, I'm going to get this or that. And I'm like, well, just give me some.
Right.
Meal. And then it's like, well, if you're getting PlayStation, they put out Helldivers day and date, and they saw the sales, and they were like, you know what, this is actually not a bad idea, and give it some time, give it like 5 or 6 years, and they're gonna say, if we put some of our games on Xbox, not all of them, we're gonna keep our cool ones, but we'll put some of our games on Xbox, we'll sell some more, and we'll make more we'll make more money. And then eventually it's going to just be cross. So it doesn't matter which platform you have. It'll turn into our box is more powerful. We can play our games at whatever 8K resolution, 120 frames per second or whatever. That'll be the fight. It won't be exclusives per se. I mean, I'm sure there's always going to be the pocket of, well, if you want to play Halo, you have to, for the first year, you have to play it on Xbox. After the first year, it'll go to PlayStation.
Right.
So it's really cool that we're talking about this because this morning I was reading an article for Nintendo Life, and Nintendo was talking about the inappropriate use of its IP in games. And with everyone moving to the cloud and then going cross-platform, I think Nintendo would be really slow to do that since they're more along the lines of, we don't want anything to harm our games because we want our games to make people happy. And I thought, you make your games happy? You shared it.
Well, if there's any argument against everything I just said, it would be Nintendo. I think that they will only go multi-platform when all of the core developers, the guys that have been there for the last 30 years, they die and move on, because those guys, until their dying breath, are gonna say, no, Pokemon is only on Nintendo consoles forever.
Yeah, they've been really going against a lot of these emulator companies as of late.
Yeah, left and right. The article kind of hinted at it,
down.
But I'm like, oh my god, it's really hitting them hard.
I heard that they started targeting the modder communities, like people who have been including like Nintendo characters in their mods. They started recently targeting them again.
Well, and that's always the question I get on my channel. I don't know if you guys get it on yours. It's like, oh, well, you want to play the new whatever Nintendo released, the new Zelda and the new Pokemon, and I'm like, I would. And it depends on the time of year. If Nintendo feels good, they'll let me play Zelda now. And then 6 years from now, I'm going to get a copyright strike because Nintendo's cracking down on stuff. And it's like, well, I don't even remember making this video 6 years ago. What the hell?
Yeah. think Twitch streamers get a little bit more of a break with streaming Nintendo because they're not like instantly getting copyright strike. You know, like with YouTube, they can like play it, then they can delete it, and they can still make an income off of it. But us people over on the YouTube side of things can't.
And that is
Nintendo.
I think along those lines, I think the big benefit to Twitch is that they keep their library doesn't stay for longer than 14 days.
Yeah,
I think it goes up to 30 if you're like a partner. But either way, your streams are gone after a minimum 14 days.
Yeah, unless you export them to YouTube, because they do have that feature.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I mean, though, is it's not on Twitch, so Twitch doesn't care. They're like, oh, go, send it over to YouTube. Let Nintendo go after YouTube, man.
Right, exactly.
Oh, man. This would be a good time to talk about Target Sweep.
Yeah, dude. I went on such a hard rant yesterday. I don't know what it was. I got so pissed off. And there are not many gripes I have with No Man's Sky. There's a few things I always wish they want to change or to not do. Target Sweep is always number one. It is the worst addition to that game I have ever seen. And nobody can convince me. For the last 5 years, I've hated it. Since they put it in there, I've hated it.
It's great when you're doing the living ship mission with no HUD. Works freaking awesome.
Yeah, well, and there's always arguments for it, and I think there's a great idea behind it. It's just the way they force it on you and they implement it is the problem.
I think people, a lot of people in the community would be happy if they would put a setting in our options to choose whether to have it on or off.
Yeah.
So if you have it on, then it'll be the way it is right now, where it does an approximate location and you try to find it. If you have it off, it'll just put the pin right where you need to go and you're done.
Exactly.
It just needs to be more accurate. It needs to be more accurate instead of 500, 1,000 meters off course. That's what the gripe is.
Well, I usually use my ship to find the location rather than going and landing on the ground. When you're flying around, if you hit H on PC or left on the D-pad, down on the lower left-hand corner, when you're close to your target, it'll tell you how far you are, 1,000, 500, whatever. And then you could just try to get zoned in closer and then land. Half the time you could see it before you even land. So,
but the better option is take it away.
Yes, this is true.
and there's a lot of arguments for it, like, oh, they can use Target Sweeper for if you need to find a resource. And I get that. I'm willing to, if they want to just simplify it and say turn it on or off, and they give you a warning that says, look, this will turn off Target Sweeper, meaning if you're looking for an object, you're looking for a material, it won't work either. I'm okay with giving that up. I'm okay with that.
Me too. Because there's nothing more annoying than you getting out of the ship using Target Sweep and 50 units next to your left, boom, there's the location. Like, or
worse, it takes you in a circle. You heading in a direction towards it, and then I was going, it's not that way at all. I'm I get so. That's my frustration. I don't want to go off target.
Yep, my favorite is you're doing an expedition, not even speedrunning, just doing a normal expedition, and you have to find a rendezvous, and it's in a mountainous planet, and so you land, you pull up your Target Sweeper, and it's 1,200 units to the left. You're like, okay, I'll head left, and you fly for a little while, and you're like, okay, it should be pretty close. You pull it up again, and it is 1,600 to the right. And you're like, what the hell? What is going on here? And it's on some little crevice down in a valley somewhere, and you've been flying around in circles for 27 minutes, and you're like, I really love this game so much.
Well, it doesn't help that the render distance isn't that great either. Otherwise, you probably would have seen it.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm telling you, just give me some more power.
Wait, is it that deep canyon in the Adrift Expedition?
Dude.
For Rendezvous 5?
That is the one that got me last. That's when my rant started yesterday. I was like, why? Let me turn this off for the love of God.
Oh, maybe they'll give us an on-off feature for it. That would be nice.
Or make it more accurate
Yes.
the more,
Down to
more
500,
accuracy.
500, something.
We're supposed to have like this highly advanced technology, right? Yet it feels like the original GPSs,
Yes.
from like early 2000s.
Recalculating. And she should just say that every time you pull up your visor. It's like, oh, God.
There you go.
Man, maybe they could rethink it just a little bit, because it's for explorers who want to use their tracking skills. So what if you had to triangulate it using the visor? So when you look, it's like, okay, I think it's in this direction. Let me bounce it off of this other direction. And then using an upgrade you already have in the multi-tool. Then when those two things correlate to your position, then it's like, boom, there it is right there. So
your multi-tool only has so many slots. I guess if
you can upgrade that thing, Sass.
yeah, I know you can upgrade. I'm just saying, like, for people starting out, we gotta think about not us veterans, but the people starting out. Like, if they're gonna have space for more tech upgrades, more things to keep track of.
So that can be introduced in the space anomaly when they get there.
Well, I mean, and if they have the hearts dedicated on making my life a living hell, at least put in an option. Maybe it's a technology upgrade. Maybe you get a sweep upgrade. You get sweep 1, sweep 2, and sweep 3. And the more upgrades you have, the smaller the area gets, to the point where if you have all 3, it just marks the location for you.
I like that.
Maybe that's the way to do it.
C class, B class, A class, S class. They already have that tech there, so they can improve the accuracy somehow.
Yeah, let me slap in an S-class sweeper upgrade that just marks the location. That way it gets rid of it. And I would love that.
That'd be wonderful.
There we go. We solved it. No Man's Sky, Hello Games. We solved it, Sean. We're on the case. We got it. I have not gone to the August meetup over in the UK. I want to go there simply so I can go to the offices and say, Sean, just point me in the direction of the dude that brought up Target Sweeper the first time. I don't care. Just let me know who he is. I need to look him in the eyes and call him an a-hole.
And then they'll point you like 5 miles off course.
They would. They're like, well, we're going to drop a pin right here on your phone. And it's within 3,000 meters of this. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Well, on to that.
It wouldn't be miles. I forgot. Like they do it.
They do it in kilometers over there because they're crazy.
Kilometers, yeah.
Dang.
Kilometers.
But yeah, I really, that is one, and there's not much that I do. I mean, I do complain when I go on a rant. I complain, but not much I do complain about it. The only other things that I hate are, like we brought up earlier, the living ship, like the out of game timers, which I will never understand. Like some people, like when I was ranting yesterday on my stream, they said, "Oh, they're doing it for playtime," and I was like, "No, they're not," because specifically for the living ship, you can turn off your game and come back the next day, and the timer is just literally a timer. They're basically telling you, don't play the game for 24 hours or whatever. Come back tomorrow, and you can continue. And that doesn't seem like a good idea. There's no incentive. Why not give me another mission to do in between? It's like, nope, sorry, your missions are locked out until tomorrow, so come back tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why I like, if I start a new save, I try to get the Quicksilver early on. That way I can do the living ship mission while doing other missions.
Other missions, yeah.
You know, so it kind of fills in that time that you're waiting.
And it could be that's the area they came in through, just like there's like the base building missions, the base computer missions. They're like, hey, you can't do this. You have to wait 1 hour before you can talk to the scientists.
The settlements, one word, settlements. There's timers on that too, but they shortened the timers after
they did.
Complained.
Yeah,
they did shorten.
Not the living ship timers for some reason. That's still the same.
Nah, you got to put in the work for that.
Yeah. And so it's just a weird thing that I've never understood. Like, and it feels like they realized their mistake because they did that with living ships. And then when the Sentinel ships came out, they're like, no timers. Just go find a brain, go to a monolith, and you're good.
Yeah. I love that they added the mechanical ship technology for the living ships. that a lot of people were having to use like mods to get that to work, and only PC players could do that. That was something that Flowery Squirrel, used to have to do.
The
for his
like
living
an
ships.
economy scanner. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and see, so it feels like, I don't know if it's like an evolution of ideas or if they're getting feedback from the community on stuff, but yeah, it feels like that you see these ideas kind of percolate, like, oh, we did living ships, but when it first came out, it was like, well, it's just a cool looking ship. You can't upgrade it. There's no technology. It's just to look cool. And then I think it was a year later or 2 years later, they add in all this stuff and you're like, okay, now it's finished, I guess. Were you waiting on that, or did you get feedback? What was the idea behind that? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the ideas community to the studios, but obviously they're not going to take every single idea the community comes up with, because they'd have to hire like hundreds of people to make everybody's vision come through, and like obviously they have their own vision.
True.
Yeah. That they want to keep for the
think
game.
some of the stuff too, they're probably set to limitations with what the game can actually provide based on the the engine that they're running it off of.
Yeah, that too.
But also I do think that they're using it as a testing ground. And after the Light No Fire trailer came out, we found out it was a more medieval setting with magical staffs. I was like, oh, that's why we just got some weird staff multi-tools in No Man's Sky for no reason. That's why they were testing that out, to see how we can do, number one, customization. You can make your own staff. But number two, kind of implement something and get people used to it. It was kind of, maybe you can consider it a teaser. Like, oh, we're working on something and this is what we got going on. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's a lot of things they dabble with to say, well, does the community like this feature or that feature, or do they hate it? It's just absolutely terrible. Like the living ship update. They're like, yeah, maybe we don't do any more timers, or make sure the timers are really, really minuscule, because everyone hated this.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Especially with when they overhauled the inventory system. There's like a nice little uproar for that. I had these grand visions of, well, they had to overhaul the inventory because they're going to add in a whole bunch more upgrades, and we need a specific technology area and a specific general item area. That's why they did that. And because before the 4.0 update, it was very limited on your technology. You only had, I think it was 18 slots. Mm-hmm. And then you can double up your upgrades by putting it in your general, which was awesome. And I was like, okay, they want to focus on it. They want to give you room in your technology for more upgrades, because there's going to be a ton of them. And it's been about 2 years, and I haven't seen a big slew of upgrades. And now I'm like, okay, maybe they just did it because they wanted to.
Nope. The only new piece that we got recently was the Mark of the Denier.
Oh yeah. Wow, that quickly came and gone.
Which actually works correctly now. So when you obtain it, you have to scan creatures and plants and stuff like that to actually fill it with essentially nanites. Once it's full, you can then go present a discovery to the Atlas. And once you do, it depletes it again. So you have to scan to refill it before you can go back. The only downside is that whether you choose to take the Mark of the Denier or birth a new star, you still get both missions in your log. So you still get to just go and give the Atlas something, whether you scanned or not, or you can fill the mark and then go. So you get both missions rather than only having one or the other.
Okay.
So hopefully they change that.
Yeah, because that gameplay loop is pretty small.
Yeah. Well, and it's something that, again, a lot of people aren't even going to know about, or unless they do the Atlas Seeds, they're going to be like, that's a cool thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's the only new tech we got that I know of so far.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I don't think I've seen anything new. I know I've maxed out my inventories because I was all prepared for it, and I still have half my inventory on my tech upgrades. They're empty. I'm like, come on, give it to me. Well, and going back to that example of them listening to feedback, I have a feeling that was what supercharged slots were. It was feedback after the 4.0 update because it wasn't in a new update or anything. It was literally a patch, I think like 2 weeks after the 4.0 update came out. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, there's these things called supercharged now. I think that was a direct, like, hey, everyone's complaining they don't like this anymore, so let's do something.
Yeah,
enough people complain. You know, they're willing to make certain changes if the game engine can handle it. You know.
Yeah. And I mean, and there's going to be some things like I really do think that Target Sweeper is probably something that they want, and they've had the opportunity. I've been complaining for years. They're not changing that. They might, hopefully, they do like an upgrade system or something like that, or give us an option. But I think they'll never be removed from the game.
Right.
No.
Well, I mean, they did add in the original scanning method. How do you like using that, Jason?
I love it, except for anything that flies. I went back to it because I was like, I need to remember how hard it was. Oh, God.
Getting the flyers was a pain.
Yeah, dude. I go back to 1.0 every once in a while just to kind of feel the pain and the joy because the planets looked way better, I think, in 1.0. But, yeah, going back and seeing the visor, seeing that nothing's stacked. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Inventory management is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So.
I'm wondering why they went away for that concept of having a humanoid player in the game that was just wearing a hat with like a little laser gun. Like, I was kind of down for that, and then it was just a player in suits later on. I'm like, like, are we ever gonna get to take the helmet off?
Well, I mean, realistically, the question is what are we under the helmet?
True, with all the lore that's out there.
Yeah, the Korvax, you know, those are, I don't think they should take, I don't know if they can take their helmet off.
I don't think that it's a helmet. I think that's just what they are.
Yeah, it's just their mask. They're a hive mind, a consciousness, right? And they just keep recycling. You know, one Korvax is in there, and then his time is over, moves out, another one comes in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And they share each other's memories. And the autophage are the first Korvax that were on Korvax Prime.
What if this is me hoping and praying? What if Light No Fire is like a semi-sequel to No Man's Sky? You wake up from the simulation, and so your character, whatever you make in Light No Fire, is the thing under the visor in No Man's Sky.
Could be.
Can you imagine just having a stream about this futuristic world, and then you wake up, it's like, oh, I'm back to dirt and whatnot.
It could be 16's ending, so it could be that. It's what happens after 16. Light No Fire.
Could be.
World of Glass
somehow they could tie into each other.
Oh, I have no doubt they will. The whole like hand holding that red orb, that gave me Atlas vibes 100%. I was like, this is maybe not direct sequel, but there's going to be some elements here.
You know what would really tie the two together?
What?
If there's a unicorn in Light No Fire.
oh, yeah, I forgot about that moose. Yeah.
I have nightmares of me playing Light No Fire. I'm flying around on a dragon, and when I go to land, sorry, too high to land, or landing area not clear. I swear, if I see that, I might lose my mind.
Oh, man.
All right, I think landing area not clear. They can probably knock down whatever is in the way. You know, it's a freaking dragon.
Oh,
yes.
Like in the earlier updates, when you use your multi-tool to dig up ancient bones or something else, and your multi-tool would just blow it up. If it's something like that, I'm like, oh, no, no, thank you.
Oh, that would be. There's moments when I go back and play the old No Man's Sky, and they let you land anywhere. You can land on a build. You can land on anything. I was like, man, this is the way it's supposed to be. I love not hearing that landing area not clear. That is some bane. That or no room in inventory. Like, oh, damn it.
I mean, that one makes a little bit more sense, but like, I think they saw people doing the ship stacks at community night and saw that as an opportunity to optimize the game a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they wanted people to do ship stacking.
Oh man, that and HOTAS support. I really, really want HOTAS support in this game, especially in VR. Like, I'm sure you have control of the throttle and control of the stick when you're in the ship in VR, and I've seen, what is his name on Twitter? Always posting videos about him flying the ships pretty well in VR, but yeah, when you sit there and then you have the HOTAS in front of you, and it's more control. And I was like, oh, go ahead, Moose.
PSVR 2 controllers work pretty well with all that too.
Yeah, but I want a dedicated like setup.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Oh, that is one. Like I appreciate that they've taken the time to do like a VR version. They've done a Switch version, a Mac version. I don't know how many people play on the Mac, but I assume it's not like a huge audience. But has to be more people that have a HOTAS than Mac that are even caring to play on Mac. Like if you have a Mac, you probably are doing more production like work things, and then you use your PC to play your games. I think traditionally anyway. So why not give us other controller support? That'd be amazing.
Man, so with that, what is it called? It's not flight assist off. I think it's called, let me go to Starship.
Oh, the pulse engine upgrade. Yeah.
There's that, and then there's the flight assist override that kind of lets your ship drift a little bit.
Yeah.
Just having a little bit of call it going in full force and then twist the yaw, and then you're just kind of sliding into the action, and then just I'm like, yes! Now I will lose my mind.
Well, that was one thing that came up with the Orbital update. A lot of people were assuming that was going to be a racing update for ships, like some kind of space racing update. Do you think they would ever do something like that?
They did have a ship race at one time.
Like officially in the game?
Yeah. Well, not officially, but if you put your Xbox disc in your Xbox and play it without the update, there's actually a ship racing thing on there.
Oh. And the picture that was kind of put out with the racing booth being in the space station, whatever happened to that?
Oh, dude. Yep. I have a feeling, because the trailer also had the color black, and it had shuttles in the trailer. And so I have a feeling that someone at Hello Games might be sleeping on the job, or at least tired, and they're playing the 2025 version. They're like a year ahead of us with all the updates. And they're like, "Hey, Bill, go cut the trailer." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll cut it, no worries." And he's playing the like a 6 month or 8 month ahead of us version. So maybe it's to come. I think that they kind of did that with the speeder ship. That was a reward, and everyone looked at it and said, "Oh, that's a brand new ship." And we all thought like, "Oh, it's a brand new." And when we got it, it ended up being a fighter, and we're like, "Oh, I mean, okay." It looks weird, but it's a weird fighter. But it's very similar to the Sentinel ships that we got later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so I have a feeling we have our new. It's an exotic technically, but we're gonna get another ship type. Maybe we get a racing ship type like 6 months from now. And that's probably what we saw. Like we have the racing kiosk at the space station, things like that. And it won't be, I don't think, maybe it will be, but I think it'll be more of, here are your racing specific upgrades. It'll be for speed or for handling. It's not going to be a whole, you can race your ship through space. Maybe it will be. I don't know.
And I don't think it'll happen in space because so like I feel like their game engine is kind of limited to saving things that are on the planet versus saving base parts that are just floating around in space, because it is, I don't know how they would do that. Like, would they tie it to like near the space station, or orbiting a planet. I don't know how they would be able to. That would be a whole new feature that they would have to program into the game, and there's already a lot of extra features that they still need to flesh out. Instead of just like you said, window dressing. I think you called it window dressing.
Yeah.
And here are some of the features that have been added.
Yeah,
but
well, even
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know how
with
that would
work. The exocraft races, it's tied to your base parameters,
Mhm.
right? You can't extend it across the planet. It has to be within your base.
Yeah.
So having all the
So-
players go to one spot and then race would probably be the way to go then.
Yeah, and maybe they add, because asteroids are really, really funky out in space. They will appear and disappear depending on if there's like a freighter nearby or something like that. So I would imagine it's probably, at minimum, it would have to be tied to a space station, because even your freighter, you can call it in and move it around. So you can't like link it to a freighter. Maybe you can. Maybe there's a way to link it to, it can only be within a certain distance of your freighter, but you can call it in and move it around anytime you want. So that would be a nightmare to kind of calculate, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then how many people would be able to create? I guess it would have to be like owning a space station. Only someone who could own a space station could build a racing track around it.
If we
Like
finally,
that's a whole new idea there.
maybe we'll finally get the station overrides to work after like
Yeah,
what, 3
station
years?
override, station race. There's some ideas there.
Oh, nice bit
Station
of profit
racing.
too. Plays
Anybody
bets.
seen one available as a reward from pirate stations recently?
Oh,
I have not.
Yeah, I haven't seen one in a while.
Yeah, they might just slowly like phase them out. Like, yeah, actually, that's a cool item, but just like your Tetra Cobalt, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because like we all got excited when we found them, and we thought for sure like, oh, there's gonna be some kind of a weird thing you can do with it. And we waited, and then we saw the outlaw stations come in. And we're like, oh, this has to be it. And it wasn't that. I'm like, okay. And then we have the overhaul of the space station. Oh, this has to be it. Orbital. That's where. Nope, not yet. It's like, what? What are you waiting for?
I still wonder, because we still have it, obviously, and when you go into the abandoned stations on your ship's computer, it says "Welcome home." So, I don't know. Maybe it's something that will still come. Maybe not. Who knows?
I don't know. The longer it goes, especially now that we officially know that they're working on Light No Fire, I'm starting to think that they're kind of gonna wind down. Like, it's never gonna. I don't think they'll ever end No Man's Sky updates. I think they'll be smaller and they will be fewer between. But they're gonna throw out like expeditions every once in a while. They'll maybe throw out a content update. But I think that they're winding down, and so they're probably looking at it going, "Yeah, we had this vision for it, but." Between being limited because we're on a Switch and we hit the wall on that, and it would feel kind of gross to say, well, you can only use space station stuff on a PS5 and whatever next gen systems and PC. So half the player base is just cut out of it completely.
Right, right.
So instead of going that route, they're going to say, no, we'll wind it down. They never officially said anything about them, so they can just ignore them like they never existed. Kind of. Right. In a future patch, kind of say, well, actually, we removed some unnecessary items, quote unquote, and it'll be on that list of items that, we'll never do anything with.
Right, right.
So now in the Orbital update, they have that expedition kiosk with the space anomaly. So is it being utilized 100%, or is there still things that need to be added to it? Because we were under the expectation that we were going to play all the expeditions anytime we wanted, but it seems like it's only going to be there for just the current expedition, and then we're just kind of waiting for the next one.
It would be nice if they could do that. I think that would be freaking awesome, because then it gives people something else to do, especially endgame, or people who weren't able to play the first few expeditions. They can go back and play them. But I don't know. It would be nice if they did, but I don't know if does the game have the capacity to switch and hold those files? You know, is there enough there to do it? I don't know.
I mean, there's probably ways you can do it. Like on our on one of my streams, we talked about that because the thing I had, the question I had would be, you know, we all want to play these older expeditions, but it takes more than just turn it on to play it. They have to make sure the milestones are linked to planet types. Like you have to find a poison or whatever. So you can't just randomly throw it out there. You have to set a course. That's why whenever we do an expedition, you see the rendezvous planets are found by Hello Games first because they want to make sure it's plotted out. And so the question would be, well, you would have to, if you play an old expedition, like Expedition 1, the Pioneer Expedition, how long would it be before everyone marked every location you need to go to and you can just speed run that thing in 10 minutes because every animal's been found, every planet type has been, every milestone is basically mapped out for you. And the only solution we kind of came up with would be you can have every single expedition, you go into that kiosk, there's a menu of, would you like to play Expedition 1, 2, whatever expedition you want. And it warps you to that spawn planet. And it's always the same, but every 30 days they go through and they have a warning that says, look, you can put whatever you want here. You can scan everything, you can put a base down, but every 30 days, every once a month, we clear everything back out again. Everything gets deleted in these systems, and it's you know, these are considered a expedition systems now. And so and it would be the rendezvous systems, for instance, just the rendezvous ones. And so you would just clear out every month. That way you at least have a little bit more of a surprise. So if you come back a year from now, everything's not marked like Jason sucks or whatever in Planet.
Right.
So, I mean, but you can do it that way. You can just set like pre-designated, like these are always going to be the Expedition 1 systems. And there's a warning on there because there's billions and billions of systems. You can pick something way out in the middle of nowhere and kind of do it. And just lock it in and say, nope, these are always going to be there. And if you want to, you can just run it through and we can have people like me. Okay, we could set the best time, the best speedrun time for this expedition, and it'll be there forever because it'll never change. And you know through your head, or you have it written out, like these are the things you got to do, and you just go through. And maybe they do I would love a speed run like a list, like, okay, here's your Expedition 1, and these are the people that beat it the fastest in game time or whatever.
I mean, a leaderboard could be tricky.
I would love it.
I feel like maybe they could do. You were talking about, Hello Games and how they communicate with their audience, right? Like maybe that could be a community event, like on their Twitter, or like, hey, right now, as far as we know, these are the people who are doing the best speedruns. If they wanted to make speedrunning more of a thing for their community, if Sean Murray wanted to like boost certain creators who are doing, certain like times, like that would be a way to do it. I don't know if like implementing into the game would be.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be forever either. Like they do the community bases in the
I was gonna say
teleporter. And so it could just be something like, well, every once in a while we'll refresh the leaderboard. So if you want to keep your name up there, you have to be playing the game constantly. So you want to, Jason, if you want your name to be on number 5 on the list forever, come back like 3 months from now and you have to redo it again or whatever. And so it's not a continual thing like, oh, it's permanent, like back in 2024, this is what's set. Like, no, every couple of months or every few months or whenever they decide to, because I know they don't update the community bases very often. Like, what, every 6 months or so?
Oh.
Yeah, they used to update it more often, but they haven't lately. But like they're shifting their focus to their new games. So.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the other the side of it would be, hey, look, we'd love to do all this cool stuff you guys are talking about, but we're doing Light No Fire. So if you guys want to do that, go for it, man. If you want to set up a page dedicated to it or a Twitter account or whatever, go for it. But we're just gonna throw in. We have Bill who works on expeditions. There's only one dude or two dudes that do it, and we have these designated planets. You can go back and play Expedition 1. We're not doing leaderboards, and every month they just go through and clear off all the discoveries. That way it's kind of fresh. And there you go. That's it. That's all we're doing. We got to move on.
Yeah, it might be too niche. Like that. That sounds like a whole new community of people. I don't know if that would be something that they would include in the general game, but like setting up a website or Twitter, that seems like more their style. Or maybe just during the expedition, maybe it could be a tab just for an expedition, like and not like in the normal game where you can see the speedrun times during the normal game. Maybe just during the expedition.
Yeah,
you could have that.
I don't know. That feels like too much work still, but yeah. I mean, I can dream. I would love for them to do that, but yeah, I don't think it's realistic.
Because if they could have the current times of everyone displayed in the space anomaly above the expedition kiosk, that would be cool too. Because then you would know right away. Oh, Sazzible 1 hour and 11 minutes. JasonPlays 1 hour and 29 minutes.
We're at 11 hours. 1 minute.
Oh.
I love to take my time and explore the planets and see all the fauna. Well, not all the fauna, because I only care about the rare fauna. But like, I like checking things out, taking pictures. You know.
Well, and it could be part of the discovery tab, like a speedrun time. It could be something like that. They have had a few, not a lot, and it might be something that they killed off because no one cared about it. But they had what was the expedition where we had to scan the memories and we all had to contribute to it?
Yeah, I remember that.
The milestones.
Memory fragments.
And so, yeah, they were keeping track of what we were doing, and they were like, we were uploading all that. So there is a way to do it, and they can do it. I just don't know if they're like they care enough, or they're like, dude, we tried it once, and that's way too much work. We can't keep up with that.
I mean, isn't there already a website or something set up so you guys have your times posted on there? Because how do you guys know who has the latest times and whatnot?
Well, I know that I have on my website. I have some, but I mean, it's not kept up because I'm not that dedicated. So, but I mean, it's more of just word of mouth. Like we have our core audiences all watch each other. And so I know whenever I stream it, someone in the chat will say, "Oh yeah, Delta has this time and Mo has this time," and so I just go by that. It's more of like an honor system. Like, oh okay, that's what they have. Boom.
Oh okay. Just sound like getting ideas about organizing something.
We early on, like years ago, when we first started doing this, we talked about buying a belt, and whoever won the expedition, we would send that person the belt, and that way they could do a social media post, and you keep it until the next expedition, and then we have to send it to the next winner, whoever that was. Jokingly, never happened, but man, oh, I mean, at this point, there's so many people running it. There'd be no way to keep up. That's why I would love for like Hello Games, because they have all the stats. And there's always the argument of, well, what's the in-game time versus the real life time? If there was one set, like we can go and Hello Games says, oh, nope, this is your in-game time. And we know it because we have all the stats of what you played. So we know. And there's no argument there. You can't argue with Hello Games. I mean, you could try, but you know.
Hey, Beebs.
Beeble Bum just joined the chat. Hey, Beeble Bum, how's it going?
Hi, Beeble Bum. Beeble.
But yeah, man, a leaderboard. I'd be down to see that, especially on a nice display. It would,
yeah.
God,
I mean, it could be above the kiosk. It could just be in a menu. Like you go into the kiosk and it tells you, like, if you click on Expedition 1, it'll give you a short description and also the current, like, top 10 times or whatever, or however it works.
So, how is competitive gameplay in No Man's Sky? I mean, we're already doing it, we're already seeing it, and it's pretty much peaceful. So, once we step into that leaderboard realm or we're getting those times posted, you think that have any effect on the No Man's Sky community? Or?
No, I think it'll just be like the people who get excited for the trading routes on frigates, or the people who love to collect all the pets or the ships. It'll be a small community that we can brag about it. Like, oh yeah, my name's up there, or I got knocked off, or whatever. But it won't be maybe it'll be huge, but I think it'll be just a small subset of people who want to compete with that. Because I always get the feeling that there's a majority of people who just want to get it over with. I just want the rewards. Do it one time and I'm done. I don't care.
Right.
Oh man, permadeath expedition for me, man. That one time was enough.
No, I want more of them. I will be the king of that leaderboard. I will make sure of it. I love that one. That's my favorite expedition. The Looper expedition was so good.
Oh man, dying twice was enough, especially at Rendezvous 5. Then that massive tornado throws you, and then you hit the ground, and it's like, oh, you gotta start all over again. I'm like, oh.
But you get 2 milestones unlocked though, so you're okay.
Oh yeah, you have to die in order for the. Yeah. I don't know the hard
and
way.
I did appreciate that they had. There was that was one where we had to scan. I think it was animals for we had to scan animals for polo, and they let you keep that one too. So you get to keep your death milestone and your scanning animals. So that was it. Oh, thank God! I don't have to do that over again.
Which is a very good segue into the Adrift expedition. What were your thoughts on it in terms of the rewards, getting the Iron Vulture, and just kind of being in a universe where nothing was able to help you out? Except
I would say more ship slots, please. These ships are really cool, but I have no more space for more ships. The expedition wasn't. I guess that was like the only like new thing was having nothing to help you out, but a lot of the milestones were similar to what we've already done before, outside of the lore milestone.
Yeah, well, and I love that because I don't think we've seen that in any other expedition where they had a lore specific just float in space or just stare at the sky and kind of. And I like that. It was kind of a weird detour, but I appreciated that. I was like, okay, this is actually pretty good.
A lot of people actually enjoyed having that empty galaxy with nothing there. I know some people have asked they would like to see that in base game.
Oh yeah, because when you're just out there alone, nothing to help you, then your survival space skills start to kick in.
Yeah, the abandoned systems. That would be a cool place for that to happen, right? Where if you call in the anomaly, that's abandoned too. Like, I feel like that would be the spot. Like that, those are already difficult to find. So, and it is eerie when you find the abandoned space station, right?
Well,
when you go to the anomaly.
The abandoned space stations are the exact same model of the original space stations from version 1.0.
I would love that as a mode. Maybe make it like a single player mode or a lonely mode or something like that. The only difference is, and I'm sure they do it just for the expedition, I would love if you go to different space stations, instead of you go to the terminal and there's random items, maybe throw in a couple of upgrades and you have to find all the different space stations to find your upgrades, because at that having just the random packages is a little bit too easy for me. I'm like, okay, I'll just save up money and I'll buy 15 of them, open them up, and if I don't get what I want, I'll just buy 15 more and just keep spamming it. Whereas if I had, like, this one only has one boltcaster upgrade, one jetpack upgrade, or what have you, then it forces you to go to different ones.
Kind of keeping that gameplay loop going by getting those distinct ones.
Yeah, very true, Beebs. That would have been pretty cool.
I agree with that, People Bum. They should have had the old anomaly for the Egypt expedition instead of the.
That would have been really, really cool. Oh, that would have been awesome.
Well, you got to think too. That one was only a single landing platform too, just you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They still have...
At that point, the Quicksilver robot was behind a door that wasn't open either.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. See, Beebs, we need you on the Hello Games crew, so you can take away the target sweeper too. Tell them that.
Yeah, there was a poor landing zone version as well, but I'm thinking more of the Atlas Rises.
I think the 4 was next update in 2018.
I think
that's when they started throwing in more, because it was There was officially multiplayer, not the light orbs running around.
Yeah.
Right.
So with all of that, how could how could Hello Games better communicate with their audience? There's so many ways they could go around with it. I mean, oh my god, I can't say it. They majority of the time tiptoe around with this information and present it right then and there when they're ready. But I'm like, where's their PR team? You know, where's
they need a PR person other than Sean.
Beeblebum has the answer
Sean,
right there.
We love you, Sean. We love you, Sean Murray. But come on, we need you to he loves to hype things up, and that's where things went awry with the launch.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know what happened there.
Well, and I think that, I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I do think that there was probably projection probably, but there was probably a point where he didn't want to talk about updates because they got burned on the release of No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
And so the way to do that is a good response is just put out an emoji, and then people get excited and an update comes out. The problem I feel like he's running into now is the emojis are getting more obfuscated, and people are getting hyped up for emojis that aren't big, like snowflake. What? Okay, a snowflake update? We're gonna have a winter update? No, it's called Fracture, and it has a whole different. It's like, what? An orange update for Origins? You're like, okay, now we're getting a little. What are you doing here?
Or
The
that.
boat anchor for Adrift.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be just an aspect of I've used these emojis, so I can't use those again, or else they're gonna say, what is it? Is Sentinel 2 update? What?
That's a tough one.
Yeah. So yeah, and I agree with Beeblebum. He says we're no longer at this point. The community's here. I think that Hello Games has gone back into the good graces. They've proven, for lack of a better word, that they're here to do good. They're not just gonna drop a game and have it be broken and terrible and just run away with the money. So now I feel like they should be more open about it. And a lot of other developers have found a good combination of, hey, we're going to talk about this, we're not going to talk about that, and we want to set the expectation, but we don't want to overhype either. And I feel like Sean Murray can kind of go between that a little too easy. Like his hype for the emojis, people speculate still like crazy, and it would be more beneficial if he came out and said, no, our next update is going to be a space station overhaul. And that's it. You don't even have to tell us exactly what's going on. Just give us more of a direct thing. That way there's no speculation of they're overhauling. We're going to be able to own space stations. And no. We're just overhauling the looks and we're good. So I feel like that maybe, but I mean, at the same time, how do you switch gears on that? Like I think for the rest of time, if Sean Murray tweets out an emoji at all, if he's retired, hasn't made a game in like 50 years, and he tweets out an emoji in 2070, people are going to say, oh, No Man's Sky update? It's like, no. I just wanted to tweet out an emoji of, whatever. Damn it. So I think he's kind of locked in on that at this point, because he's done it for so long. Trailer would be enough. I mean, I would love that too, Beeblebum. I mean, put out the trailer before the day of the release.
Yeah.
They did teaser trailers before. Do you remember when they did that glitchy
Yes, the Beyond trailer. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would love that too.
Like the what's it called? Not Easter egg, but like where you had to solve a puzzle. Like what was it? You know what I'm talking about? There's like a word for it.
Yeah. Oh God, it wasn't.
Searching for it's more lore-based puzzles. Most what you might know what I'm talking about. It was for
Walking Titan. God, my brain's not working.
ARG.
There you
yes,
go.
Yes. That was pretty extensive. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work getting those together.
Where they use the hexadecimal codes from the
Yeah.
auto pages.
Mm-hmm.
I would love, like, I think Beeblebum has it right. Maybe put out the trailer instead of doing an emoji. Put out a trailer 3 days before. Like, instead of doing emoji on Sunday or Monday, put out a trailer on Sunday night, Monday morning, whatever. And then we know, oh, this week or coming soon, we have this update. And we with more, because the trailer's only usually about a minute long, minute and a half. And it never tells you everything in the update, but it kind of gives you a good overview. And it always says, go to the website, you get more details. That's great. I'll take that.
Yeah, teaser trailer, and then they can update their website on the day of release or something.
Yeah,
you know, if
exactly.
they can't, you know, do that at the same time, you know, that, you know, space it out just a little bit rather than the emoji.
Because every time there's an update and they do it all at the same time, I gotta just drop whatever I'm doing and then just focus on that. It's like, if we just had that time a little bit beforehand, it's like, okay, now I can do this, finish up whatever I'm doing, and then present that information.
And then, like, another good thing, and that would give content creators another video when they do update their website with the patch notes and everything. That would be a whole nother video on top of the teaser trailer. So that's 2 videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
People bum? No. And he says the videos will be actually correct. I still would mess it up. I'd be like, oh, the station overhaul, that means we can own the space stations, right? That makes sense. Do we have a station override? Let's do it. I'd still be wrong.
Oh man, because the ongoing videos of the information being put out, like ever since there's a sale on something in Steam, No Man's Sky, it's like, oh, there's gonna be an update, and it's like, no, it's just a summer sale, and it's like, oh, so now it's getting to that point where it's not even following that pattern. Maybe sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, and we're left in the dark. So it's like, how do you keep your content creators and your audience hyped for something that you're gonna show at the very last minute, and then like, what's the marketing strategy on that? What are they doing?
Yeah, well, and I feel like it has gotten worse, quote unquote worse, the last year or two, and that could be due to the fact that they are spread thin with Light No Fire, and so now they're just like, are you ready? Oh no, we need another week. We're trying to polish out some bugs here, so give us another week or give us another month or whatever. And so they're kind of like just going back and forth, because there's been a couple times. I think the Adrift expedition, was it like Sean Murray tweeted the night it came out? And I was like, what is going on here? What? You tweeted out Tuesday night and it comes out Wednesday morning? Are you trying to murder me? Kill me? There's no marketing before this. There's no excitement. There's just, hey, look, here it is. Oh, by the way, drop everything else you're doing and play our new game. It's like, what? So, yeah, I don't know. And it could be, and I do blame it a lot on the size of the studio. They don't have a lot of people working there. But on the other hand, that is their choice. They choose not to hire up a lot of people. They could. I'm sure there are plenty of people who are dying to work at Hello Games and help them out with Q&A or PR or whatever. But they like to keep it small, for better and for worse. Keeping it smaller means that they have a more laser focus. They don't have to worry about this like, well, we have a group of 300 people, and so it's going to be slower for updates or what. So I get that, but it's like, oh, come on now. You need somebody out here helping you, Sean.
Right.
Exactly. It looks like they're going almost the same route as Star Citizen, where Cloud Imperium Gaming, CIG, where they're working on Squadron 42, but they're also working on their MMO as well, and it's splitting the team and the information. But whatever gets put into Squadron 42 ends up getting put into the actual MMO game, and there's a lot of people waiting on both, but there's nothing really being marked close to the roadmap on what people are expecting versus what they're given.
Yeah.
And, yeah, maybe Hello Games is heading in that direction as well.
Yeah, well, and I could agree with that. I just don't know if it's the right move. I mean, I'm not the guy at Hello Games making the decisions, so I'm sure Sean Murray knows more. But I've noticed and I've seen over the last couple of years a slowly decline of people who are just pumped up for it, whether they're just burnt out because of speculation, and then when the update finally comes out, it's not what you expected, so you feel betrayed, like, oh, they didn't give me the thing that I built up in my head. And that's half, that's on the person hyping it up, but that's also half of Sean Murray not being as vocal or direct about what the updates are. But also, it's just that people are just like, I mean, you know, I don't have the energy anymore to kind of get hyped up the day before or the day of an update for No Man's Sky because last year literally put out an update a week before Starfield, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why? And obviously they didn't care, but it's like, what? Maybe more planning on this. What's wrong with you?
I feel like the multiplayer being the way it is has kind of lowered the community hype aspect of it. You know, I know not everybody, has like a dozen or 2 dozen or 3 dozen players in a group, but like being able to just invite people to your streams or like do content together. There was a sense of building community, and now you're like even just during the stream, I got kicked out
Yeah, I saw
of this
it.
instant. And it just happened again. It just happened again as I said it. If that changed a lot of the ways things. Oh, I'm back. I'm back in the system. Yeah, the way that people interacted with the game, the frustration that it builds up. It builds up, and a lot of us feel that.
Yeah, well, it kind of, I'm torn on that too, because they tout all this, like they still say 32 players, and it has been a long time since I've seen 32 players at all, or even something close to it. And then when the Light No Fire trailer came out, it was massive multiplayer, and I'm like, I don't know about massive.
Oh man, a few times in the patches or in the patch notes, they went ahead and said multiplayer is fixed, and I'm like, oh, awesome. And then it's not to the expectation of the 32 player amount. Because I miss those community nights that Zoo and Ricey and some of the other content creators have. Because you would see a ton of people there. I mean, I can't remember who was lined up just to get free stuff, but you would have players like that, and then you just leave. But you would also have dedicated players who were there building with everyone and just kind of hanging out, and it was a good time. There was that many people in the stream, there was that many people in the chat as well, and it was just a good time. Now it's just like, hey, it's just me in this ship,
and now we have to like spin in our chair, tap our nose 3 times. I don't know. What are you guys here to get the multiplayer to kind of work?
Yeah, and that's what it feels like. I remember, I think it was on my 100 subscriber or 100,000 subscriber celebration. I have screenshots, I have video. It was just a blast doing all this, and I know we can't do that anymore. It's just having everyone jump in. We were all building. We were all just running around looking at stuff. It was a blast. And now it's like...
before community night, I remember, we would join and like just build, a weird, building together where parts of it would look cool and parts of it would be like, I know who built that. Or, it's, the glitchers versus the standard builders versus, we had people of different, building stages, and in the same group, and it was cool. We all learned from each other. We all grew from each other, in those streams. And it was amazing. It was fun, being able to do that.
Yeah, well, it was one of those things you took for granted at the time. It was more like, well, I'm going to jump in and just send out my friend code and have everyone who wants to jump in, and was not even a thought that, well, if you're on PlayStation 4, you can't do that, or you need to be on this platform, or I need to go make sure that the servers are right, or you have to do this thing or that. It's like we didn't have to worry about that. It's just send out your friend code, let's play, let's build, let's do whatever.
The good old days.
Good old days. We're all reminiscing right now. We're all talking about it. Us veterans. The new players, they experience multiplayer a little differently.
Seriously. But new players have so much content to go through, though.
Yeah, a lot more.
To be honest, when you start a new game, a lot of the new missions and content rolls in like super quick.
Yeah.
So like right after you finish the purge, it's like one after another. You get the the pirate mission, Dreams of the Deep, the settlement mission. It was so crazy because you're getting bombarded with mission after mission, and it's like, holy crap.
Well, and that was another thing I was hoping they would fix with 4.0, but anytime now, all these missions feel so disconjointed. Like, you will randomly run into some weird ship and start a pirate mission. You're like, what the? Okay, this has, what is going on here? Or you just warp into a system and all of a sudden you get a call for Dreams of the Deep and you're like, I'm doing this other thing. What? I thought they were going to try to line it all up like in the Artemis, like the one storyline. As you're progressing, it would be, oh yeah, this, when you do this mission, it triggers this thing because it makes sense. But it feels so disconjointed and like random, especially for a new player.
Yeah, there's no pattern to it, no story drive to link everything in such a way that it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Well, NMS, nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense. Yeah.
Nothing makes sense. I have that sticker. No, I have the no free slots of suit inventory. I thought I had the nothing makes sense.
No
That's
free
a different
slots,
one.
yes. Oh.
Yeah.
You were talking about that, Jace.
Yeah.
Boss was asking about the override.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we all speculated over that space override thing for like 2 years straight, and like I'm so out of energy about it.
I at this point, yeah, boss, to kind of like recap, we did talk about that like maybe an hour ago.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, but like we had so many theories about it, and like I don't even remember half of them anymore.
A hood ornament at this point now.
Yeah, hood ornament.
I honestly do, just to kind of like summarize at least what I said. I do think they're just gonna phase it out. I think that they might have had a grand idea for what to do with it, and now they're like, look, either it won't work because we need this or that, or it's just we're focused on another game, so we're just we're just gonna phase it out. It'll be in a patch note like sometime that, oh, we got rid of some old equipment that we don't need, and it'll be on that list.
Yeah. Like the flamethrower.
Oh man.
No one can get that.
That hurts.
I did not play the game until after that, so I didn't even know the flamethrower was
Yeah.
It hurts my heart. I had a legacy save with it. I deleted it because I'm an idiot. And there's no way to get it now.
I have two saves with it still.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, lucky.
And the fact that you can't duplicate them anymore.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure you can use the save editor and give it to yourself.
Yeah, you can do that. You can give it to yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, it's tricky doing that.
Yeah.
Possible, but tricky.
Man, so Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just for me, I hope we see more. I just don't like more we're gonna get updates. I think that we saw the last big update in the Orbital update. They added ship building to the game, and that's what people have been asking for so long. The only other thing I can think of, maybe the chat has another answer, but the only thing I can think of that everyone's been asking for is a water overhaul, and I don't think that's possible, or else they probably would have done that.
Yeah, on PC it's possible. Like I'm always talking about the ARG water mod.
Yes.
Well, not always, but I bring it up at least once every stream. Like, oh, I love that I can actually swim in the water. Like, look how pretty this water is. Like, I wish everyone, could experience that, not just PC players.
Yeah.
But it has to do with shaders, and like I guess the amount of shaders that the consoles could handle versus PCs. So that's probably why. I'm not really sure how resource intensive it is. It's not like waterfalls, but like still there's like slight waves to the water. You could actually immerse your character in it.
Yeah. See, I would love that. I just, that and fixing the third-person camera. I've noticed it more in the last year than I have ever before. On the trying to scan a planet in third person in your ship, you have to have the right angle on it, or just go into first person and it's fixed, and you're like, why is that? And it feels like it's a leftover from when the game was only first person. They programmed a lot of that stuff, and then they never went back and said, "Oh yeah, we need to fix the angle on this thing because we have a third person camera now."
Yeah.
Nope, you can't look straight up in third person. It won't let you. So if you're stuck underwater, you have to go to first person so you can look up and dig yourself out. So yeah, just those kind of things that maybe, but I don't think we're going to see like a big content update anymore. And we're going to get expeditions, of course. We'll get some small. Me personally, I think we're going to get like, oh, this update is going to be the hauler update or the exotic update where we can now build a new exotic, or we have a new shuttle or whatever. A new solar ship will be added to the ship builder, but it'll be more additions versus a brand new thing. Like, oh, we have this whole new thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am, but I think that they're going to just slowly work their way through fixing things. Hopefully, maybe multiplayer, and then move on to Light No Fire.
Multiplayer, yeah. But that's also a server side issue. Like I think they moved to like Microsoft Cloud servers or something.
Oh, they've been using that Azure.
Yeah,
Microsoft
Azure.
They've been using that since the beginning. So it's not even really Hello Games that has anything to do with the multiplayer.
Yeah, that's why I'm not
Microsoft.
like blaming Hello Games for it. It's more like something changed with Azure.
Yeah, they have a guy who builds the updates or whatever the multiplayer aspect, and then he sends it off to Microsoft Azure thing, and then they are the ones that actually put it out. So they have like updates that could already be done that are just sitting up there in that cloud, and then when they give the okay, then that's when they push it. So
yeah, but to a certain extent, it's not their fault, but if someone is doing a crap job, you don't like, well, we can't fire this guy because we hired him. It's like, no, if you had complaints from the community about your multiplayer and you reach out to Microsoft and say, hey, your Azure servers suck, man. What's going on over there? And they can't fix it. You say, well, we're going to move over to whatever. We're going to go to Amazon or whatever because your servers just suck.
Not to defend Microsoft, but they work great when you're using them just for work.
Well, and it could be just a focus thing. Maybe Microsoft's like, yeah. This whole No Man's Sky, whatever. We're going to give you the bottom of the barrel, like crap servers, because we have more important things to do. And it could be that. But even then, at that point, if I'm Hello Games, if I'm Sean Murray, I say, look, guys, we want our multiplayer to be a good experience, and it's not here, so we got to go either bump up the list, or we got to go somewhere else because this sucks.
I wonder what other cloud platform they could go to for that.
I don't know, but I mean, if Light No Fire launches and it's as broken as No Man's Sky, it's not gonna do well for that game. That's my big fear. Is like, it's massively multiplayer, except for you can only connect to 3 people.
I know
It'll be at least 4.
It'll be 4, yeah. It'll be 4.
At least 4, including yourself.
Yeah, including yourself, 4 total.
Yeah.
Because during the trailer, and their trailers are usually gameplay, how many players were actually in it in some clips?
I saw 4.
I saw 6 total. And so I was like, okay, I mean, that's reasonable. And the first thing, and I know that like Beeble Bum he believes it's not total gameplay in that trailer because there's some like HUD elements that kind of are snapped on after the fact, and I can see that. I think that it's closer to gameplay than not, simply because like you see the draw distance, you see elements of, okay, that is 100% No Man's Sky. That texture on that tree didn't pop in until you got close enough, so there's something there. And so I would believe that that's probably close to what it is going to be like. But then again, we only saw 6 people. I didn't see 32 people building in that little town they were doing, or in the water, or anything like that. So it's like, I don't know.
Because as big as this game is going to be, if they're going to... Oh, I have so many thoughts about this, man. Having a whole entire planet dedicated to playing that. I mean, you're gonna have millions of players jumping on at the same time. Is the server gonna be stable for that to happen?
Well, they did say that the planet itself is supposed to be the size of Earth, realistically.
Yeah.
Which is, it makes you wonder, okay, how big is the file of the game going to be, if that's the case? And if that is the case, think about how many people live on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I doubt that many people are going to play the game. So, I mean, depending on where everybody spawns, if it's a random location, finding somebody, it may be far and few in between until you actually start flying or riding a mount or something like that, and then you can actually go a grand distance and you may run into somebody.
Yeah.
What?
And how long will it take before someone creates a mod of like the 80 days around the world, where you can take an air balloon, train, dragon? No.
Well,
Yeah.
I also
Boat.
think that it's going to be similar to No Man's Sky in the fact that they will have portals, some kind of a teleportation device to get to different regions. So you don't have to, you got to jump on your dragon and fly south for the next 5 hours to get here.
Right.
Like, okay, no, there's a teleporter that gets you there.
That'd be a lot.
Like maybe fast travel locations or something.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
portals like.
It seemed like there was some kind of magic, implemented in the game, so they'll figure out a way to make it.
And of course,
Yeah.
I'm sure it will still deliver the single player experience as well if you choose to play single player.
Yeah. Well, I really think it's going to be a No Man's Sky game on a single planet that's just massive. So that along those lines, I think the multiplayer aspect is not going to be you load up the game and there's 300 people running out in a field somewhere. It's going to be you can load up the game, and depending on your region, just like now in No Man's Sky, depending on the planet, you can go there and find all these different bases all over the place. So you can run into a region and you won't see any players, but you'll see buildings and go, oh, someone built this 2 weeks ago, or someone built that yesterday, or whatever. And it'll be more dependent on, you're connected to the server, and just like in No Man's Sky, if you upload your base, it'll take a day or two to kind of show up, but then everyone can kind of see it. And it'll be cool, but it won't be like, oh, there's 500 people running all over the place and attacking stuff. I mean, maybe it is. I don't think it'll be like that, though. I don't think it'll be more in line with No Man's Sky of, it's more about finding locations and buildings and uploading your discoveries. Like, oh, I found a fish deep in the ocean. It's my name is on it.
Right.
Now, more than likely, we'll be able to create our character, but I'm wondering if we get to choose the region they get spawned into. I mean,
that would be interesting.
I hate to spawn in and it's just mud and rain in the area. I'm like, I gotta make the best of this.
Well, how else are you gonna know how to use the hazard protection if they don't put you in a hazardous area?
There's volcanoes. You'll be in like a volcanic zone, or the ice, or icy polar ice caps. You
need to gather your sodium so you can recharge.
Jeez. It's freezing cold. Oh, this is how you put on clothes. I'm like,
I think this one will actually probably utilize the food nutrient system.
Yeah.
I would love for that actually too, because it doesn't make sense to have life support gel, right? You have to have food. Right. I would love for that to be, and if we're doing a dream list, I would want it to be something similar to what the way Valheim handles it. So you have a beast amount of health. If you never eat, you're fine. You'll never die. But if you want a buff, that's when you want to eat food to extend out your health bar or extend out your stamina, or that kind of thing. I would love that kind of an element to it. So Light No Fire is, hey, look, you can eat raw fish and it'll give you 5 extra health. But if you eat cooked fish, it'll give you 20 or something like that. And so you don't have to eat, but you are incentivized to do it and make different recipes, and the more advanced food gives you more buffs and more things like that. Like your jetpack has 5 minutes of unlimited boost, that kind of thing.
I'm more interested in the magic. How is that going to go down?
It's all speculation at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we need to be careful about, you know. I think, I mean, with multi-tools, I mean, we what affects, you know, based off of what we've seen with the multi-tools. I feel like it'll be pretty similar to that aspect. And the terrain manipulator, I don't know, it's like they've got like certain things they could do with that crossover.
You'll take your staff from No Man's Sky, you'll wave it around a little bit and say Alakazam, Alakazoo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, from the trailer we saw, we could see a lot of similarities. So I would imagine, like, anyone who thinks that Light No Fire is going to be this huge, brand new thing that's nothing like similar to No Man's Sky is going to be disappointed. I think it's going to have a lot of shared commonalities, and they might just have a different way to describe it. So instead of a terrain manipulator, you get a pickaxe to flatten the land. Okay, right. But it'll be the same general concept of you need to go over there and pick it down to flatten it or whatever.
Yeah, and will they keep the wire? Or would they call it something else?
It'll be called magic.
Aspect, we didn't really see much building.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, in the trailer, with what we saw them building, it really didn't seem like there would have been any electrical. It seems like maybe this would be handles,
torches,
yeah.
But like, so the wire is like super important. Glitching, like that's like, so they would have to figure out a way to keep the wire, but call it something else to power things magically.
Maybe a light rope.
Yeah, a light rope.
It could be simple as they have some magical thing you have to collect, some magical liquid, and there's hoses instead of wires that connect everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's all speculation. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, we don't know very much about the game, and I would love to hear more. Sean Murray, another trailer would be awesome.
Yes, please. Especially with a blacksmith shop or something of how we get all the contents that we've been seeing in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only one trailer so far, a couple screenshots, you know, on their website. We don't. I don't want to be, you know, saying something, you know, that we wish could happen and then disappoint. So I just want multiplayer to work and the glitching to be possible in Light No Fire.
Well, you're already going to be set up for disappointment.
Let's just, and rendering. Fix, okay, 3 things.
Yes,
3 things.
Rendering, please.
Yes. Fix all the things in No Man's Sky and then like into Light No Fire.
Does anybody play Sea of Thieves?
Or
have they?
I have some content creators that are trying to get me to play, but I haven't played yet.
I was just curious because they also use the Microsoft Azure.
Oh.
I was wondering how their multiplayer servers actually work. Rainbow Six Siege also uses it, but that's
I would
kind of
imagine
a smaller map.
I would imagine Sea of Thieves might have a little bit of a benefit simply because they're a Microsoft studio. So they're like, we're gonna make sure to take care of our own studios.
True.
Hello Games, you're at bottom of the list, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Remember, you guys were waiting for that update for Starfield.
Oh yeah.
No Man's Sky was getting all the updates.
Dude.
Oh, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother podcast. We could just do a whole nother 2 hours just on Starfield alone.
Oh yeah.
We need to be careful with that. Like I feel like we could rant for
I
a while.
actually just started playing it.
Oh.
This is like my 5th
Mm-hmm.
stream now.
So you've never played any before this, or never seen anything before? Okay.
Well, I mean, I've seen little snippets, but I didn't watch anybody. I kind of wanted it to come out, do its thing, get a few updates, and then I'm like, I'll get into it later. So I just recently got into it. This is like the fifth stream that I've done, and last night I had my first big whoopsie. So I have heavy fingers, and I accidentally hit LB, and I had RB, and I had landmines equipped, and I must have dropped one somewhere.
Oh no!
So when I went to go back towards the spaceport at New Atlantis, yeah, somebody
All of a
died, and I
sudden-
got in a lot of trouble.
Oh no!
I
No,
tried.
now you're an outlaw, Moose
Well,
the
I-
outlaw.
yeah, I
Yeah,
ended up
your stream
paying-
probably took a different turn after that.
Yeah, I ended up paying my bounty and doing my time, and yeah, and somehow Barry got pissed at me. I don't know what I did to get him all pissed off, but whatever.
Oh,
Oh,
But yeah, no, yeah, this is my first time jumping into it. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's all right. It's not too bad.
yeah.
yeah, no, like it's just. All right, well we can do a little bit of rant. We can do a little bit of rant. No, we need to be mindful of the little bit of rant that we do. We all hoped that it would be No Man's Sky with the exploring, but the pattern. It was a lot easier to see the pattern
Yes.
of the explore. You having to scan things more than once was a tedious part. That was
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until Tom Sneery, who's jumps in the chat and my comments and all that, had told me. He's like, yeah, I think you got to scan it like 3 or 4 times or something like that before it's
Yeah.
actually scanned. I'm like, really? All right, whatever.
Well, and then the other thing that bothered me was, and it makes a little bit of sense, I guess, but the fact that some of the things that you can do in the game are locked behind a skill set that you have to earn.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, like the scans. You can upgrade your scanning ability to where it doesn't take as many scans. But
But
your
you have to go
character-
through so much of the skill tree just to get to that.
just to get
it's
there. And you're like,
expensive.
why? Yeah, it's like, dude, that is just, no, I don't understand that.
I just finished maxing out my weightlifting skill,
Oh,
so now I
nice.
can
Oh, yeah.
carry max
Oh yeah,
equipment.
that's a good one to have because I know that I played it like Skyrim in the beginning. Do you remember in Skyrim where
Yeah.
you would just drag and shout across the world because you carry so much stuff?
Yep.
I kind of just dragged my character across the planet, going extremely slow, like wishing for that dragon shout.
Yeah, I have a tendency of just grabbing everything. My pockets
Yeah.
are always full.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. They love it when you grab a lot of loot.
Oh, every
Mhm.
game. Doesn't matter what game I'm playing. My pockets are always full.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, I we used to so in Starfield, you can collect all the little plushies,
Mhm.
all the
I
different
did
toys.
that too. I started doing that.
I think Crisscross was doing like this little competition with me, saying like how many have you grabbed, and then I'm like, all right, competition on. And then like I think I took like 50 or 60 of them, and he gave up. He couldn't keep up with the amount that I had. I tried to display them, but
Yes,
in the ship. But like I think before, back then you couldn't display. It would just, disappear, or it wouldn't stay, or at your base, it wouldn't stay at your house. So like,
Mhm.
but they fixed that
Oh, good.
supposedly in the new update.
I was wondering about that. Because it made you not want to put anything in as soon as you built it. So it's just a waste of materials after that. But I'm glad they fixed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had things like fall through, the floor, after reloading into that, and I'm like, oh no.
Did anyone ever
Yeah,
get that?
I haven't loaded up to check if they really fixed it, but yeah, supposedly it fixed it.
Good. So I bought maybe 2 or 3 houses, and I was like, after I saw that in someone else's stream, I was like, oh, okay, no, I won't build anything.
Yep.
Did anyone try out that dream house at all? That I think was like 25,000. No, not 25,000. 250,000. You have to make in game to make sure you didn't lose it.
Nope.
No, I did not try that one.
Like
I haven't seen it yet.
I want to, but at the same time, it's like I don't know how to make that money in the beginning of the game. Like later on, yeah.
Pick up everything and sell it.
Yep.
That's what I do. And then I should have been paying attention. So I would pick up all the stuff. I'd go to the kiosk right there when you land at New Atlantis and start selling stuff. And then it was telling me you're going to get less than what this is worth. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I just keep selling it, not realizing that they only have limited amount of money. I'm like,
Yep.
oh God. So I sold a bunch of stuff and got nothing for it.
You have to go to like different shops.
Yeah,
to get
different
some more
shops,
money.
Yeah.
different vendors. Well, you live and you learn, you know? That's all right. It's all good, though.
Anybody heard about Jump Ship?
Jump ship.
Jump ship.
Yeah, it's a space game where you and your crew have to make sure your ship is
Oh.
mechanically stable. So when someone's fixing a part of the ship, your ship could be getting attacked, and then you have to have a pilot there, and you have to have another person shooting at the enemy for that. Or you can go down and have a little expedition on the planet. Someone stays in the ship, the three of you go out and go look for this other item. I thought that was kind of cool. I was like,
I think I saw that was an early access game, wasn't it?
I don't even think they're out on early access yet. They haven't even pushed it. They're showing trailers. They're kind of getting people hyped for it, but they don't have anything to play yet.
Oh, I thought I saw something.
Because if there is, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on that. No pun intended, but nah, it looks like fun. Since we're on the topic of space games.
Yep, spacey games.
Oh yeah. I have that on my wish list. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it says it's planned to release this year.
I guess Forever Skies is kind of spacey. You never see space, but you crash from space. They're supposedly adding multiplayer co-op later this year.
It's actually another thing I saw too. It's slated to come to PlayStation as an exclusive, which I find kind of odd considering it's an EA on Steam.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just exclusive to that console,
Possible,
not the other ones.
But any last minute, any last words for the updates?
That might be worse. Oh God.
Any last minute? Any last words?
Any last final words?
Just fix it. Fix it.
Multiplayer and rendering, please.
I mean, we're veterans, so obviously we're gonna be like, the grandpa's shaking fist at clouds. Like from The Simpsons. We're gonna have more things to say than the newer players.
I'm sure Cloud Guy is happy about the clouds now.
But they took away my Tetra Cobalt. It wasn't worth the price.
Yeah.
Oh, so Heather, I have people jump in the game if they want. If not, then they're just talking over Discord. So it's like that with a lot of the podcasts I put out.
Do not rat me out, Heather. Jeez. I'm not playing Elden Ring right now.
Right now.
She's like, you better not be. I need to moderate that.
I haven't launched a video game since Sunday because. All right, the house is cool enough that I can have it just me sit here and on this couch and in the game here. But like, man, the ambient temperature is too
You don't
bad
have like
for me to be
15
able to game
fans
at all.
all around you?
It's
Just blowing on you. 15 fans.
Seriously.
yeah.
Oh, Sam Ollie read that.
Oh, he was the game.
Hey, Heather.
So,
Heather calling out Jason like that.
Hey.
I might have been playing Lynn's Island a little bit.
have you seen Jason? Have you seen the trailer for Deliver Us Home?
Yeah, dude. I hope that Kickstarter goes through.
Yeah,
How close are they? I haven't checked it lately.
They're at like 70%. There's only 5 days left. I did back it, and I was actually lucky enough to get the prototype demo, which I actually played and streamed a few times already.
Yeah.
And I really do want to see it come through. I really do. It's even the prototype demo. It's actually pretty good. So it looks beautiful.
I can't. Yeah. Well, I mean, Deliver Us Mars was really, really good. I can't. I hope it goes through. We'll play the heck out of that.
It's pretty rare when I jump into like an early access game. I feel like it has to feel fully fleshed out. Well, not fully, but close to it. I like being able to immerse myself in a game and in a character and not get distracted by the matrix glitching out around me, you know what I mean? Or there has to be stuff to do in the game and not get bored.
A lot of the space early access games I've been playing are actually pretty good. Astromedica, the Prologue is pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one to come out full version.
Go ahead.
Planet Crafter, which I know Jason and Beebs have been playing as well.
And Heather, it's so good. We just finished it. Yeah.
Nice.
So good.
Yeah, you guys finally left the planet.
Finally, yeah.
Who'd you go with?
The initial.
Hold on. I'm gonna like take my headphones off. I haven't left the planet yet. I'm almost to leaving the planet. I've kind of been delaying the leaving the planet part.
Yeah, there's is it 4? Three or 4? 3.
3. Yeah.
I thought there was. Well, 4th would be you just staying and not leaving.
Well, that's true.
I saw that as an option. Like I've read a lot of, but I haven't actually done the final steps. I always hate ending a game. You know what I mean? that sad feeling of having it end.
And the procedural wrecks that they added were freaking awesome. I really like procedural wrecks.
I hope more games take that, because that is such a good thing of just, here's a feature of, we have a teleporter or a portal, and you can just go, and we can just add more content, and you just go through a portal, and it's a good explanation of, go there, and it doesn't even have to do anything with the game. It could be anything we want. It's awesome.
Yep. And then they added 3 of those procedural wrecks on the base map itself.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna have to go out and look for that.
Yeah. You need the
I found those. I found at least 2 out of the and one of them I just stumbled upon, like spidey senses. I'm like, I bet it's over here. I know. I was like, yeah, it was over here. It wasn't even from screenshots or anything, because I didn't really give like too much of a clue of where they were. That's always a fun feeling when you're out exploring and you just find the thing.
No, it's even better when you're playing in multiplayer and Beeblebum is just giggling because he found one, but he doesn't want to tell you where it is. And you just hear him laughing and giggling as he finds all this stuff, and you're like, wait, where are you? Where are you?
Yeah. And then there's no way to actually see the player's icon on the map, really.
Oh, okay, that answers my question.
Yeah.
You can't
see them at all.
Nope.
Yeah, shortly after multiplayer released, me and KJ PC Gaming did a stream together playing multiplayer in Planet Crafter, and yeah, that was one of the things you couldn't do, is see the player markers on the map.
Mewtwo games.
At least there's different outfits now. Like that makes things a bit easier.
13 or 14 different outfits.
But there's only one that matters. That Galaxy one is the
Galaxy
best.
one is awesome. I love that one. I've got a lot of duplicates, but I haven't found them all yet.
I have a question about that. So if you're hosting Planet Crafter and you have multiplayer, how do you stay stable? I kept having issues where the game would cut out on me every time I would play with some other content creators.
Internet, I guess it would help.
It depends on them.
Yeah.
It's either, I don't know if it's on the people connecting or if it's yours, but we haven't had an issue. And we played, like, I'm in the United States, I'm in Colorado, Heather is in Canada, and Beeblebum is in Malta, and we only had 2 issues, and both times it was the game crashing. It wasn't the internet, as far as I know, the connection.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think in the patch notes for the multiplayer, it said that the amount of people that could be on the map would depend on the host's internet connection. Because they do put a number of how many people can be on your map, but realistically, they said there is no limit.
Yeah, I think they say 10, and I was like, okay. And the first thing I was worried about is usually People Bum and I usually have problems because he's in Malta and no issues whatsoever. So I was like, okay, we played multiple streams. Like we've been playing for the last like couple months and no problems.
All right, man. So AT&T.
It's probably it's your ISP. Believe me, I hate my provider as well. Xfinity, they can suck it because whenever I try to stream, it's just I either have someone who's looking at my streams, like they have someone at the company watching me, and so whenever I stream, they decide to crash my internet because there's been plenty of times I have played with Heather, no issues whatsoever because I'm not streaming. The second I stream with someone, internet goes down, or if I stream solo, internet goes down, or randomly, internet's just fine. And it's like there's no day, it might be the temperature of the area, maybe a dog farted on a line somewhere, I don't know. Because it's like there's no rhyme or reason to it. I've changed out routers and it's just the ISP. They just suck.
Yeah, I got AT&T. I've had them for ages now. I haven't really had too many issues.
Okay.
Well, you need to talk to your rep and say, hey, he's streaming with AT&T too. Hook him up.
Oh yeah, they'll hook me up for $2,500. They will.
Oh,
holy crap!
The situation. Go ahead.
I'm pretty lucky with my internet, but that's gonna change when I move. Month. Right now I have almost gigabyte speeds. I don't know what it's gonna be like when I'm on Wi-Fi only. It's gonna be an adventure. Trying to sort that out. I'm hoping I can get a mesh network going.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not gonna be able to connect directly. Unfortunately, where I'm gonna be moving to.
Dude.
But that'll be a thing.
When I think I did it last year in August, I finally got fed up and I was like, look, I need a new provider. This sucks. It's terrible. And so there's multiple fiber companies that are working on lines in my city, and they're just not in my area yet. I'm like, okay, how much will it cost? And they said, what do you mean? I said, if I wanted you right now, I wanted to cut a check, lay the lines down directly to my house, and just connect me within the next month or two or whatever. You have to do permits and everything. $80,000, and I said, "Oh, okay, never mind. Thank you."
Oh my God!
I guess I'm.
I think they're honest. With
I'm
the
happy
cost
that
there.
fiber just came to our area, and I didn't have to go through that.
Yeah, no. Well, and they said, well, if you just wait till 2026, 2027, we'll have your area. We're on schedule. We'll have your area connected to our fiber network. And I said, okay, I guess I gotta wait 3 or 4 years. Great. I don't have that kind of cash. Jeez.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. But going back to the whole thing. Last words, I guess. Final words.
Final words. Final words. I already spoke my piece. So what about you, Jason?
I hope and I pray that they put out a water update or something for No Man's Sky. I know we're probably going to get a couple more. If I had to guess, we're probably going to get a few more bigger updates in 2024. I don't know if they're going to be big as in brand new features. I don't think they will be. I think there'll be more additions we're going to add more ships for the ship builder, or maybe more pieces for the staff or something like this. They're going to be additional things. But I hope one of them is, oh yeah, we're going to go through, we're going to overhaul the way multiplayer works, because we need some way for Nintendo Switch to connect. And either it has to be limited capacity, it's only 4-player co-op or 4-player multiplayer on a Switch, or just hey, look, we're gonna lower the number down to 16 because that's the No Man's Sky number. However, it'll be stable. You don't have to worry about just getting dropped out of an instance or anything like that. Something like that, some optimization for multiplayer. I would love that. What you, Moose?
Well, just make it work.
That was pretty much my sentiment.
Yes. Make it work.
I guess one of the things that I would like to see is, yes, we still have people who are on old, PS4, Xbox Series S or Xbox One S, whatever. And like, for instance, Typo he has one save file. That's his main save file. That's almost over like 10,000 hours. And he can't, the file's so big that talk about not being able to land. Yeah. Okay. Even if he does get able to land, he can walk like maybe 2 feet and he'll fall through the planet because it's like his file size is just so big that it's not loading the terrain like it should. So, I don't know.
Now, is that any planet or some like a planet where he's built
Nope.
a lot on?
Any planet? No, it could be a random planet that he just landed on.
Holy cow!
Yeah, he could walk like a few units away from his ship and then just fall right through the floor, right through the ground.
Well, see, you just have to tell him that is a legacy save. So that happened a lot back in old school No Man's Sky. They're just preserving that bug for him.
Yep. Well, that's it. It is his legacy save, and that's the one that's doing it. So. His other save files, he doesn't really have too many issues with it, but that one, because it's so big. So I don't know.
Now
what
I
they would
wonder.
have to do.
I wonder if it's the size or if it's just the length. Like maybe it's a save file. Like if you, I would be really interested to know if you made a save back in 2016 and played for 5 minutes and then quit and then came back now, would it have the same effect? Like, is it because the age of the save or the size of the save? Maybe it's the age. Maybe it's like, look, this save is trying to connect to so many different things that it just...
I think it's a bit of both because over time, patches, there's like band-aids over band-aids over band-aids versus just a couple of band-aids. I mean...
I think I have a PS4 save that is from 1.0. That I actually went back, played the 1.0 version, and then updated the game. So it doesn't have a whole lot of hours on it. Mm-hmm. And the times that I was playing it, I didn't have any issues. But I haven't played it recently.
Yeah.
So
well, and it could be he's playing on PS4, correct?
Yep.
So it could be just the console itself. Because I know that whenever there's a lot of complaints, like whenever there's an update and people are like, oh, my game's crashing, I always ask, like, well, what are you playing on? And it's usually PS4, Xbox One, an older console that just can't handle trying to load in everything that they're cramming in there now.
Yep. I think that's what it's optimization and data leaks is what they call it, or memory leaks. That's what it is, memory leaks.
Yep. There's been memory leaks in No Man's Sky since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They try to fix it, but I think it might just be part of the engine. Who knows?
Well, I wonder. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I wonder if they would benefit. I mean, they probably don't have the people or resources to do it. But going back to, hey, there is a PlayStation 4 version, and that's it. Your universe is only PlayStation 4. The game itself is just made for PlayStation 4. And then we have each console has their own version of the game, their own version of the galaxy. Everything is unique.
I don't know about that. Maybe the latest consoles could be part of the PC. But then we're going with, PCs are going to obviously have latest tech. So we're still going to end up de-optimizing for PC if we cross-platform, cross-play, so everybody sees the same thing at the same distance. I think they're trying to make it so everyone has the same experience. Maybe they can have it so like the older consoles can cross-play with each other, and the newer consoles can cross-play with the PC. Would that work?
Maybe.
I don't know. That seems like a...
Well, I mean, I will say it does feel like the more that they've integrated everything together, the worse it's gotten for a lot of things. And the benefit is anybody can play with anyone. The downside is you can't because the game multiplayer is broken now. So
Yes.
they give you the option, it's just not possible. So we're essentially playing with ourselves anyway. So you might as well just say, okay, no, there's a PS4 version. If you want to play on PS4, you can only play with other players on PS4. It sucks, but multiplayer is stable. We can optimize the game so it runs, and so if you have a legacy save, it's not going to crash because it's trying to cram in all this stuff and also work on a PC and PS5 and whatever.
Mhm.
Right.
So I don't know. I have no. Maybe that's the solution, and it's just like, look, guys, we want to actually bring the community together, and so it's not something we want to do, and also we don't have the people to do it because we need dedicated teams now. But I have a feeling they brought everything together because it's easier to make one version of the game that works on everything versus, well, this team is only on PS4 and that team is on PS5 and this team's on Xbox One, and so it's just it simplifies it.
Mhm.
Jason, you said the most quotable thing, and Heather just tried to add it, but thankfully, as he has
No!
post enabled.
Wait till Jason streams. It'll get put in.
Yeah.
Oh,
You also said something else, but then you quickly finished the sentence, so that wouldn't have been quotable either.
there are some times where I've said something, I've thought about it, and I've just, all right, I'm gonna be quiet because I want it to simmer. And then there's, oh no, we lost a Sazzible.
Oh.
And she was out. She's like, I'm done with this conversation. Or maybe Hello Games got her. They're like, nope, you're gonna talk about this. Your internet's gonna just go out.
Oh no.
But yeah, I mean,
Sorry, my Discord kind of stopped working for a sec there.
oh, okay. We were just saying. Oh, I was just saying that. Yeah, you were talking too much, and all of a sudden, Hello Games is like, nah, cut her stuff.
Oh.
No, it's the fact that I called out Ozzy and its lack of quotes.
Man.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, and it's probably it probably won't happen, but I feel like that might be a solution. It's just like, look, we love having the people together, but because I think Ricey's noticed that depending on your platform, it limits your instances. So there's already some kind of a barrier in place anyway that's limiting the size of the multiplayer as it is.
Right.
So if they just cut out the middleman and just say, look, we're gonna go back to PlayStation 4 only worlds, and you can only play with PlayStation. And maybe in limited circumstances, maybe there's some kind of a weird, almost like the Expedition, where they kind of, instead of going multiplayer, they went solo player. Maybe there's some Expedition special opportunities there, and it'll be more finicky. But it would, I don't know. It just feels like it's not working.
Yeah, and the game journalists would have a field day with that, and then they bring up the fact, oh, because they did this a long time ago and failed, now they failed at this too.
And that could be part of it, and there's a thing of, you don't want to, they've done it before, but you don't want to remove something you've already given.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they went through, I don't know when the last Galaxy reset was. It was years ago. But everyone was so mad. They're like, oh, I built my bases and now they're all gone again. And I have a feeling they're like, nah, we don't want to go through that. We don't want to remove something we've already given, so we'll just suffer through, and the game will be a little bit worse for it, but it'll be even louder if we take it away.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure it was Beyond, I think.
Was it the Beyond? Yeah, it might have been Beyond.
Because it's when cross-platform came in.
I think that's also when Target Sweep became a thing. So Beyond is now officially the worst one.
Dang.
Add Target Sweep in there. That's the worst. Whatever update was officially with Target Sweeper, that was the official worst.
Yeah, Expeditions, I think.
Was that Expeditions?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh god, they gave us
Although
one of the
I've
best
only
and one
ever
of the
known
worst.
the game with Target Sweeper, so.
I wonder, yeah, I have to nail that down. Was that Expeditions? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I like Expeditions. Just leave out the Target Sweep stuff.
I looked at the trailer for it. I was like, yeah. it's right there. They have it at the beginning of the trailer, and they can just kind of move on to the other features after that. I was like, well, nah, it is what it is.
Dang it.
Well, I guess there might have been a year without target sweep. It's like I joined No Man's Sky right when the companions update was released.
That was like a couple
So that
months
kind
before.
of,
Yeah.
Put me in that niche group.
You had like a couple months of glorious no target sweep play.
Yeah, exactly. I never messed with the egg sequencer though. I just was, that was like there's only 6 slots. Like I didn't want to sacrifice the few slots that we had back in the day.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think we said everything that was on our minds about the post update that made no sense. Everything we said post of Orbital and the Drift Expedition. I'm hoping Holo Games has more features for us later on down the line. Other than that, Jason, Sazzible, Moose, thank you for coming out for the podcast. Everyone in the chat,
Absolutely.
Thank you for hanging out and having a great time with us as we've been going off on a tangent about games, No Man's Sky, Starfield, which may or may not be coming on here in the podcast. We'll see. But thank everyone for coming. Peace.
Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.